And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internet, all over mainstream media, social media, everywhere. And I'm not sure where to start. First of all, we have the ICE shooting in Minneapolis. Someone, FAFO. You already know what that stands for, so I don't got to say it. You're going to try to hit an agent with your car, and it's going to be okay. You got people making someone so, oh, she was just trying to get away. Really? Hey, how about I use that on a high-speed chase? Yeah, I was going 115 down 75, but I was just trying to get away. We'll talk about that a little bit more, a little bit later. Also, shout out to hopefully the future president and Marco Rubio. Y'all know me. I may have said it here, I may have said it before. Maybe 2028, we have JD Vance. Same thing, 2032. But then the whole time, Marco is vice president. And then once JD is finished with his terms, we bring in Marco 2 terms. That would be the best thing for me, but we'll talk about that a little bit more, a little bit later. Also, speaking about elections, Tampon Tim Walz has dropped out of the governor's race in Minnesota, which is this year. Who's going to be the one to take the lead after him? I'm hearing that the streets talking about Amy Klobuchar shaking the bacon like Muhammad Ali toward the end. Will she be the governor of Minnesota? We'll talk about that a little bit more, a little bit later. Also, Venezuela. The Venezuelans love what's happening. Non-Venezuelans hate it. We'll talk about all those things and a whole lot more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And thank y'all again for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you like what you're hearing thus far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Shout out to you guys who were on the Instagram live last night. I appreciate y'all for that. That was definitely a fun time. You'll see some clips from that coming out probably tomorrow or whenever. But shout out to you guys who are on the Instagram. And if you don't know, I stream live on Instagram every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But shout out to you guys who are watching this show live on the YouTubes, or you're watching the replay or listening to the podcast. And if you didn't know, this show is available on your favorite audio streaming platforms. After the show is complete, the following day, Apple, iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, etc. Link for that will be in the description. And it's also easy to go to your favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. Now, look, Minnesota. There's a whole lot going on in Minnesota. Can I say something right quick? This feels like George Floyd 2.0. It feels like George Floyd 2.0, but rather than a black person who passed a fake bill and was high on drugs, rather than that, you got a white liberal lesbian poet. I'm not making that up. I am not making that up. A lesbian poet who has a husband, I suppose, or a wife and a kid. I don't know. RIP to her and prayers out to them. I'm just saying that's just what she was. 37 years old. From what I see, it looked like she was trying to run over the agent. They got her stopped. The window is down. They're speaking to her. They got guns, and she veers toward them and try to take off. People, what they do sometimes, they do stuff like that, and then they try to escape right afterward. This is a thing that I see quite a bit. It's a passive-aggressive way of being very aggressive. Let me explain a little bit more. When someone wants to, like, punch you in the face or spit on you or slap you and walk away, like Will Smith did at the Oscars with Chris Rock, I don't even understand that. Now, where I'm from, you do something like that, you got to fight immediately. Ain't no, I slap you in the face, punch you in the face, spit on you, try to run over you, and you get to get away. Nah. We got to go ahead and deal with this right now. Especially if you were in a vehicle trying to hit a police officer. Anybody with a brain knows if you do something like that, you asking to go ahead and get popped. You asking to get clipped. You trying to do self-delete by a cop at that point. I don't even know why you would think that's okay to do. And why is anybody talking about, oh, well, you shouldn't have done that? People going through it frame by frame, playing Monday morning quarterback, frame by frame. Well, at this particular frame, at 0.0001, he could have evaded. It's like, do you understand how fast that's happening? It's happening like that, real fast in real time. So what are you going to do? just wait to see in that split second if you get hit and run over and killed or seriously injured, get put in the bag. Just wait until that happens and then react? Or when you see what's unfolding, do you act at that moment? What do? And I'm willing to bet if you spoke to law enforcement, anybody that has any experience with this, they would say, you know what? You have to act as soon as the threat is identified until the threat is no longer a threat. It's very simple. And when police and other people don't act when there's a threat, and then the threat goes on to do something really bad to people, then they say, where was the police? Why didn't they act? Why didn't they intervene? Why didn't... It's all kind of money quarterback type stuff going on. But if you are in a situation, my suggestion, my advice, this is just my opinion. I'm not a professional, obviously, but my advice would be, if you are in a situation where somebody has a vehicle, this big truck, van, whatever she had, and they're aiming it at you and they mashing the gas down to the floor and you got a gun, hey man, at that point, it's a matter of protecting your life. So you got to do what you got to do. That's just my humble opinion. Again, I'm not a professional. I'm not a legal expert. I'm not a police officer. I'm not in the military. I'm not a nice. I'm just a guy giving my 2 cents on the situation. But Minnesota sucks. Really. Minnesota sucks. It does. I'm sorry. If you live in Minnesota, I apologize for saying that about your state. And to be specific, I'm going to say Minneapolis, especially. Minneapolis sucks. We've seen this already. We saw what happened with George Floyd. It was appalling. It was totally appalling what they did to that state, what they did to that particular city. And the ground was already set for something. The ground was already set for a thing like this to take place. It was already set because you got Tampon Tim Walz out there inflaming it. You got Jacob Fry, get the F out of our city, go in the streets. You have these people inciting the riots. It sounds like they're inciting the insurrection against the federal government. That's kind of what it sounds like. I heard Tampon Tim say that he's at war with the federal government, that his state is at war with the federal government. Now, if a sitting governor, lame duck or no lame duck, says something like that, what do you call that? Is that not inciting an insurrection? Because if it's not, I can't tell. What other way could you take a sitting governor say that we are at war with the federal government other than an insurrection? But of course, January 6th just happened again. Was that the 5th anniversary of it? Of this dead horse that want to keep reviving and beating up until it dies again. But anyway, it just had a J6 little candlelight vigil, all this, that, and the third, because that was an insurrection, quote unquote, and never forget. And then the very next day, you, Tampon Tim, and others get on TV and say that Minnesota is at war with the federal government. You are inciting an insurrection. And when the federal agents are out there, the people who Tampon Tim is inciting, many of whom are paid with organizations which should be illegal. Can I say something right quick? I know I can, so I'm talking. Is it possible for Marco Rubio or whoever to get on task of making paid protesters in this country illegal? Can we do that? Is that a thing that's possible? Now, I know we got freedom of speech or whatever, but at a certain point, you're talking about paid insurrectionists. And this is why that dude, what was that guy from the college, the guy from Syria, Afghanistan, Lebanon, Palestine, wherever he was. So I know what I'm talking about in college. I don't know what school it was, but I forgot. But anyway, that guy got his green card revoked because he was on campus inciting riots, inciting insurrectionist and anti-American activity. That cannot be covered under freedom of speech because all we are doing, if we allow that to happen, is we are importing foreign actors who come to destabilize us. In any nation on planet Earth, that should not be tolerated. The same way Eric Swalwell had to spy with him, fang, fang, yum, yum. The same type of energy needs to be given to those who come to the country under false pretenses. You say you want to come here for an education. You say you want to come here to better your life. But when you get here, you are insurrectionists. You are pain in our hind parts. You are a thorn on our side. You're just getting in the way. You are a foreign actor of disunity. You are a foreign actor of chaos, and you got to get up out of here. So surely there should be something for these companies who intentionally create chaos. You see, it's one thing to go out there and protest, freedom of speech, First Amendment, cool. But when you organize things, possibly internationally, to sow seeds of discord, to promote disunity, to create civil unrest, when that's happening, it should not be legal. That's just my humble opinion. Okay. I don't know what y'all think, but that's pretty much where I'm at. And we see these organizations just out there. Well, it was one organization I saw, FRSO. I thought it was FRSQ. FRSO. They got logos, websites. They tell you exactly who they are. One guy who was asked about Venezuela, because he had a sign out there to protest, he's asked about Maduro, asked about Venezuela. He admitted, I know nothing about the guy. I don't know nothing. I'm just out here supporting. And then he slipped, in my opinion. He probably shouldn't have said this, but he said he's with Central CSO. What is Central CSO? Is that a company that you work for? Is that an organization? Is that a 501c3, 501c4, whatever they call it? 501c82, ABCD123, one of these Somali type schema operations? What's really happening with these particular people and these places they work for? These not-for-profits and random weird organizations, legal loophole organizations, they got to go. So I'm not sure who's got to be on the task of eliminating these organizations, whether it's Marco for his 495th job of the administration or anybody else. I don't care. You could get Dan Bongino off the podcast and let him do that. I don't know. Do something. Get somebody on that, because it's to the point now where it's ridiculous. Anytime you see anybody out there protesting, you're going to think paid, fake, inorganic, not real, sowing seeds of discord, funded from foreign assets. Not just George Soros, but there's 1,000 George Soroses in the world who all have vested interest in seeing America fall and seeing America succumb to the Eastern powers, to Russia, China, Iran, etc., which is why Venezuela was so important. Now, some of us on the right don't like what's happening with Venezuela, and I get it. It's regime change, all this and that. I get it. But it's not like if we did nothing, then nothing would happen. If we did nothing, then something would have happened. And really, it would have been the continuation of what's been going on, of the Eastern powers controlling Venezuela. Venezuela will not be independent totally, just totally by themselves, because the idea of the idealistic American, the idealistic person, is that Venezuela can be left to its own devices, not do any kind of deals with anybody, just do their own thing. Okay. Pump their own oil, take care of their own people, totally independent. But the reality of the world is that's not going to be the case. The reality is they're going to align with us or they're going to align with them. There is no in between. There is no third option. There is no cop out. If we don't align with them, then they will be aligned with the Chinese, with the Russians, with the Iranians, and with communism. And as a result, their people are going to suffer. So when you ask Venezuelans about Maduro, about Trump, they're like, look, you can have the gas. It's fine because, number one, Venezuela only produces 20% of their capacity in oil. Fun fact. And number two, the oil that is produced is taken and does not really help the people and is given to Cuba to help prop that up, and to Russia, Iran, China, etc. It does not help the Venezuelan people the way it should. Before Hugo Chavez and Maduro was the Venezuelan-U.S. partnership. It was a good thing. Was Venezuela perfect? Of course not, but it was better than it is right now. Better than it is right now. Venezuela got so bad, and it's still bad like that, to where they had to break into zoos and eat the animals in the zoo because there's no food, which always happens under communism. There's no food. Okay, you go to the grocery store trying to buy something, ain't no food there. So now you got to go forage and do all kind of things. The same thing happened in USSR. The same thing happened with Germany. A lot of those deaths in the camps, the gulags, came as a result of no food being available. It wasn't just a matter of, it wasn't always just, okay, get up against the wall and get shot. They did that as well, which happened in Venezuela as well. But it's a matter of, okay, if we don't just shoot you, you're going to be in this work camp and we don't have enough food to be able to feed you. Therefore, it's going to be a famine within the actual camp, a famine in the gulag. That's what happens with these places. And it's the same thing over and over and over again. Now, some of us think that if we keep trying communism, one day it'll work. One day it'll be the best thing for everybody, but it never actually happens. It never materializes. Also, there's a certain way you could do war or any kind of military action. The thing about Venezuela, if this is going to be a decades-long war, Iraq, Afghanistan, something like that, then I'll be totally against all that activity, all that war. But if you're able to go in there in 90 minutes and extract them out of the country, and it's not this big prolonged gunfight, Americans dying years and years and years, like the whole Russia-Ukraine situation. I mean, that's a meat grinder over there. And guys are getting conscripted to go die for no reason, really. There's no purpose in having this war just rage on. Some people like wars to rage on because it makes money. You got to just fuel that military industrial complex. Okay, you got to fuel that beast. I'm not saying that when you went to Venezuela, the effort it took was totally free. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is it's a lot less expensive and safer than having a decades-long war a la Iraq, a la Iran, a la Afghanistan, etc. Well, not Iran yet. They want, hey, you know what's funny? The citizens of Iran, the Iranians, they want the Americans to come in and liberate them too. But if we do that, more than what we've already done, that's a little bit complicated. Iran is like the button because of all the Islam, because of the religion, all the different things that have happened. Venezuela is not that way. Venezuela, Cuba, Iran, a lot of these countries are wanting Americans to come help them because ain't nobody else doing it. If Americans not going to help them, then they're going to be victim to Russia, China, etc. That's what I'm saying. It's not like you could just have these states be totally independent. That'd be a dream. That'd be, I guess, best case scenario in the fantasy world, but fantasy is not reality. Okay. Well, if was the fifth, we all be drunk. If was a fifth, we all be drunk. We can't live on these if scenarios. Well, if this and if that, well, guess what? It ain't. So what do you do with reality as it stands rather than a fantasy scenario? What if? Well, what about what is? Let's talk about that. That's actually what matters in my humble opinion. What do y'all think? But yeah, shout out to Marco Rubio. I'm the president. I'm appointing myself the president of the Marco Rubio fan club. I'm a big fan of his. He has improved a lot since that whole water bottle kerfuffle back in the day, back in like 2013, 2014, whatever that was. He has improved so much since then. He is a standout of this administration. JD Vance, I like him, but you got kind of that redneck stuff going on. You got to get that out of you, boss. I understand where you come from. I come from the same place, bro. Appalachia adjacent, Middletown, Ohio. I understand. I get it. But that can't be what you have going forward if you're going to be the president, in my humble opinion. But I like JD. Don't get it twisted. I like JD Vance. Don't nobody get offended. Oh, you hate JD. Nah, I like JD. And I like President Trump. And I like Marco. And then in order, I like Trump, Marco, JD. That's what I like. And I think Trump feels the same way because you got Marco doing everything. JD Vance, I see him, but he's not really having any kind of roles because Marco is better. And it's okay. Look, I'm the kind of guy, I'm all about a meritocracy. Who's going to do the better job? I don't care nothing about nothing. I don't care what color. Look, and for real, if it was a transformer that could do a better job than everybody, then I would say vote for he, she, they, them, zim, zer. But that's not living in reality. You know, I'm just saying as an example, I don't really care about someone's identity more than I care about their ability to perform. And Marco has done that. But it just so happens he's Hispanic, which would be a big benefit. If Marco, a Cuban, is able to help liberate Cuba and Venezuela and do all the other jobs, you got to make him be the president. At that point, he has to become president because he's going to have all the momentum. Everybody going to say, Viva Marco. JD, I like you, but Viva Marco. That's just my humble opinion. But it'll probably be JD running because he's the vice president, and that's normally how it goes. And you don't want to make it seem like JD's, a bad vice president. He sucks. It ain't like that. It just happens to be that Marco is so much better, in my humble opinion. Okay, exactly, Giselle. I like JD, but Marco 2028, Rubio 2028. Exactly. 100%. So shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. Ice shooting. You're going to get to that. We got the videos of the ice shooting. From what I was able to see, it looked like it was justified. But of course, when you have police shootings, people want to give their 2 cents, be on their quarterback. Some think that the police shouldn't have any guns. They should just, let people do whatever they want. That's just not living in reality. People got to understand what reality is and live in that. Okay. And speaking of living in reality, you got Tampon Tim dropping out of the governor's race. That's hilarious. That is so funny. And really, he dropped out of the race because Nick Shirley exposed him. And that's crazy that a YouTuber was able to get you drop out of the race. It was in a statement talking about some things have been getting in the news and, Trump is waging war in our state. It's like, bro, y'all let the Somalis do whatever they want to do down there. And the pattern was so obvious. And it's not been happening. It's not like it just happened this year or last year. This has been going on since like 2009 at the latest. 2009 has probably been earlier than that. This has been going on since I was wearing the big jeans and Timberland boots on the beach, looking like I'm one of these young Gen Zs right now. It's been going on since then. This ain't nothing new. This is an old story. I was reporting on this type of stuff when I first started in 2015, 2016. When I first started, and not just here in the States, but all over the world, I was saying the exact same thing. So it's not new. So they had plenty of time to fix it. They had plenty of time to get it tightened up. But all that happened over the past few years is that it became more entrenched. They did not do anything to fix it because they're cool with it for whatever the reason may be. Maybe they allow Somalis to commit fraud because it helps them in some kind of way. I don't know. I mean, they get monies from the companies in their campaign. Speaking about Democrats, that is. They get monies from the Somali fake daycares in their campaigns. And maybe the Somali children, they go out there and do jobs people don't want to do. I don't know. But the Minnesotans, the liberals in Minneapolis, sure love their Somali scammers. They love them. The Somali scammers specifically is who they love. For some reason. And if y'all know why they love them so much, please let me know. Please let me know. And I feel like they intentionally get the scammer type person. Upstanding citizen, regular number Somali, trying to go to school and work. Nah. Okay, this guy here, his name is Muhammad. Okay. M5 for short, that's his nickname. And he has convictions of bank fraud, credit card fraud. Yeah, let's get him into Minnesota and let him be a citizen and let him open the daycare and a home health care center and a medical transport, all of that. Because I know he'll do a great job at those jobs. No, he's going to be a scammer and fraud the system and steal from the federales. Is the point to have them steal to have that money boost your economy up in Minnesota? Is that the reason? I mean, maybe so, because you got to understand what's going on, how much money you guys are spending on these certain things. It's obvious to see. Anybody could have seen it. It's not something that is taking a rocket scientist to figure out. So, Tampon Tim, Ilhan Omar, Amy Klobuchar, Jacob Fry, all you guys have allowed this kind of thing to fester. Not just the Somalis with the fraud, but also the anti-police sentiment, the anti-ICE sentiment, the anti-federal government sentiment. You guys have allowed it to foster. And now what's the result? Massive fraud, billions upon billions of federal tax money stolen by the Somalis in Minnesota. And then Minneapolis, St. Paul, a war zone. They're trying to enforce federal law onto a place, and it's not happening properly because the people are so anti-government, which is them being fueled by the rhetoric of their leaders. Tampon Tim, Jacob Fry, Ilhan Omar, Amy Klobuchar, and the list goes on. And the craziest part was I showed y'all the video years ago when they changed the flag, the Minnesota flag to the Somali flag. If you guys have not seen that, hold on. I got to show you that because I know I've shown that before. but I got to show it to you again. Okay. Yeah. And this was in 2024. 2024, they did this. Hold on. Before we get into the videos, I'm going to show you one video that we're going to keep going after that. Hold on. Do I have any sound? What's going on? Can you guys hear that or not? Oh, there we go. Let's turn that on. That'll help.
Today, Minnesota's new state flag is flying at the Capitol in St. Paul to celebrate statehood. This comes after some Republicans tried and failed to stop the shift. Yes, that's the flag. The redesign scraps Native American imagery that was on the old flag, and the new flag features the North Star on a navy blue background with a patch of light blue on the right side. You know what it looks a lot like, the one on the right? The Somalia flag.
So they're just erasing?
Oh, does it really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Which is where we're going
Indians?
anyway.
Just going to erase them from Minnesota?
Just gone, yes.
So look, okay. That on the right is the new flag. On the left is the old flag. Now, let me show you the Somali flag. Do you see a resemblance? Do you see a resemblance? Okay, that is literally the flag of Somalia. Do you see a resemblance between this and the flag of Minnesota? The brand new flag of Minnesota? They pretty much say, hey, you know what? Check it out. We are now Somalia. I'm the captain now, pretty much. And the background is blue, but it's a different blue than the Somali flag. But the original flag has a blue that's similar to the Somali blue. So if they just put this star onto this background, it would have been copyright infringement at that point. Make it a little bit different, you know, make it a tad bit different. See, that's what's happening with Minnesota. It's obvious, it's straight out there in the open. And as a result, they've had some issues. They have had some issues there. Okay, when you just cede your state to a whole different country, what do you expect to happen? I'm just trying to understand. And you know what? Here's my question. What percentage of Somalia's GDP comes from Minnesota alone? Just Minnesota, not anywhere else in the country, not anywhere else in the world, but Minnesota specifically and the surrounding area of Minnesota and North Dakota, somewhere like that. How much of the Somalia GDP comes from that particular part of the country? That's all I'm trying to figure out. All right. That new flag is terrible. The new flag is awful. Virginia, I love my Virginia flag. They better never change it. Okay. Sic semper tyrannis. Okay. Thus I bring death to tyrants. Hold on. Let me see if I can put it up right quick. Yeah, I love the Virginia flag. That's probably one of the best flags in the nation. Okay. Yeah, keep that. Hey, VA, do never change this flag ever. Don't do it. Okay. Don't change it to any other state, any other country, nothing like that. Keep the old school seal, the Latin. Yeah. The tyrant with his crown off. Let's do that. You know, we were the first No Kings. This is the first No Kings protest right here. Okay. That's the first No Kings protest. And you know what's funny? People who say No Kings are now talking about, oh, free Maduro. With the fake Spanish accent, free Maduro and Caracas. I was like, all right, all right, whatever. Just yesterday you were talking about No Kings. Now you're talking about free the dictator. Oh, okay, that's cool. That's fine. All I'm saying is be consistent. That's all I'm asking about. But anyway, we got a lot to get into. The Minnesota shooting, quite a few other things. But first things first, shout out to you guys for watching. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you like what you're hearing so far, if you enjoy the content in general, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Also, please go to patriotpost.us, your best source of news and information anywhere on these interwebs. Their link will always be in the description, or visit patriotpost.us in your browser. Tell them that ABL sent you. Also, go to my Cameo page. Shout out to you guys who got some cameos for the holidays. I appreciate y'all, definitely. But if you want me to send your loved one, friend, family, whatever, a message for anything, you can do so through Cameo. You can go to cameo.com, search me, ABL, I'll pop up. There's also a link right there in the description for me if you want to do that. All right. Shout out to you guys again who've already got some. I appreciate y'all for doing that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed them. But also, go to the merch website, ablmerch.com. That is ablmerch.com. We got hats, t-shirts, stickers, CDs, mugs, and more right there on the website, ablmerch.com. Also, please go to the regular website, anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY. The letter B, LOGAN.com. Go to the front page of the website. I have articles for each long form video that I produce, and in each article, I have sources from the left, from the right, from the center, from the Democrat, Republican, political, agnostic, local, national, international, whatever you want. I got it right there on the front page of the website, anthonyblogan.com. Also, please go to the contact page of the website, anthonyblogan.com/contact-us. They're able to find my email address, my email address, my UPS box, of course, my social media accounts, my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. All my links are right there on the contact page of the website, anthonyblogan.com/contact-us. And as I always say, if you believe you're speaking to me on the interwebs, you're probably not. It's probably a scammer. It's 2026. Don't get scammed. You already know where the scammers come from all over the world, but some hotbed places, okay? They got India, all of India, okay? Eastern Europe, Moldova, Ukraine, Russia, anywhere like that. Transnistria, all these random places. You can get scanned over there too. It'll be somebody on the phone named Boris, Natasha, Ivan Drago. If he dies, he dies. They're going to be trying to scam you. And of course, you already know Nigeria is where they're going to be. They're going to be in Niger trying to take all your monies. They're going to think that you are a fool. They can take everything that you have. All your hard-earned monies will be gone in an instant. Please don't get scammed by these people. They might get you on the phone, doing a little FaceTime. Hey, they might find them with twin ABL and Lego somewhere. Get them in here right now. We're going to scam this person today. We're going to go all the money. Hey, get them in here right now. They might deploy him, but when you hear the accent and it ain't accenting properly, that'll be your clue that it's not me. So please don't get scammed by a body double, a twin, or anything like that. And we got AI, it's crazy, so please don't fall for it. And God forbid they can map my voice with AI. Boy, you're going to be in trouble. But hey, the best way to make sure that it's me is to email me directly, contact@anthonyblogan.com. The email's on the contact page of the website. If you email me there and I respond, it's me. If anything else, don't think it's me at all. All right. Now, let's get to what happened with Minnesota. Now, of course, we got a shooting where ICE agents had shot a woman, 37 years old, I believe, a lesbian poet. I'm not making that up. Some say the shooting was justified. Some say that it wasn't. Now, look at this angle right here and let me know what you think. And look down toward the bottom right-hand corner of the screen above the 5 from the TV station. Look right there and let me know what you see. Check it out. All right, so you see what's going on there. I'm going to play it one more time for you. One more time. And again, look right above the 5 in the bottom right-hand corner so you can see what's going on. And we're going to get we got different angles to look at so you can kind of see it from all points of view that are available. Now you see right there is what we kind of focusing on. So from my point of view, it looks like if you look, you got a cop right there, you see? And it looks like he gets clipped or something. Now, right when that happens, the gun goes off. So how long is that whole process? 1 second. So now what happens is we're going to look at the frame by frame. Or pardon me, not the frame by frame yet. A different angle and then a frame by frame of a different angle. So let's look at this angle right here. So look, a little bit of context. The woman had been harassing them all day and getting in the way and preventing them from being able to move. What they were trying to do right here, the agents that is, they were trying to get their vehicle out of an area where there was snow because it got stuck. Y'all know how driving in snow and ice is a little bit different. You know, Minnesota, frozen tundra, I can't do nothing with it personally. But you see what she's doing. She's blocking the way. So now they got to say, okay, I need you to get out the way. Now he's saying, get out the car. Get out the effing car. Y'all heard that. Rather than getting out the car, rather than complying with the orders, now I'm going to just refuse to get out, and I'm going to try to back up and potentially hit the cop with the car. Or pardon me, the ICE officer with the car. Let's watch.
No! Shame!
So you can see this. Hold on. Let's go back here. So you got an officer right in front of the vehicle and then one to the side trying to get the door open. Okay. So let's see this right here. And then what happens?
No!
The cop on the side is not the one that is the target. It's the guy right there. And she turns the wheel and cuts towards him. Okay. She turns the wheel and cuts towards him.
No! No! Shame! Shame!
See, now people looking at him, they're saying that he's firing while she's driving away. Well, she just tried to hit him. And that happened all in one instant like this. Just like that. Watch.
Oh, shame!
So what do you do in that situation? Just, maybe she's going to hit me, run me over, and I'll be dead out here. I hit my head on the ground and bleed out, get run over by the car. What happens in that situation? You just let it happen? I want to know. Okay. Why is he in front of the vehicle? Maybe he thought that she wasn't going to try to run him over. Maybe he was wrong. So we got it up close. I'm going to turn the sound off because it's just the slow sound of the people screaming in the background. But you see the cop right there on the side. Okay. Another cop right there. Okay. Right in the front of the vehicle. She's turning the wheel to back up, and then she's turning it forward to go straight. If you were trying to evade, why not cut the wheel all the way to miss the cop? You were trying to hit him and then run off and get away. See? You see the wheels turning? Because look, again, you had your wheels going this way. We all know how to drive. If you're cutting your wheels to the left, you're trying to back up toward the left. Okay? If you got your wheels cutting toward the left and you're hitting in reverse, you're trying to back up toward the left. But then you straighten your wheels and you hit the car and drive, you accelerate. You're trying to go forward. If you were trying to just escape, you would have cut your wheels to the right, got it in drive, and gone to the right, rather than trying to go straight ahead. Does it make sense? Let's play it one more time. So you can see the wheels turning, and then the wheels straighten up, and then boom, accelerate right away. As soon as she got the wheels going forward, she hit it in drive and accelerated immediately. Okay, so now the one cop might get dragged. He about to fall on the ice. Other cop about to get hit. And then when the gunshots ring out, then it becomes, okay, let me escape now. Right? So, I mean, listen, man, RIP to her. But you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. I don't understand what needs to be said here. I don't really get it. And again, I think this is a thing that has been ginned up by Jacob Fry, Tampon Tim Walz, everybody out there in Minnesota, all the bad leadership, all the Democrat leadership out there, and not just them in Minnesota, but Democratic leadership, bad actors all over the country and all over the world, saying that ICE are bad and they're Nazis and they're racist and everything else. I blame them for this getting to this point because really, you shouldn't even be out there. You shouldn't be trying to block officers. You shouldn't be trying to impede with what they got going on. Get out the way. Get out the way. And you won't be put in harm's way if you get out the way. But she wanted to be out there trying to block them, run them over, all of that. Okay, well, pop, 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 pop. Enjoy that. Enjoy that. I'm saying, and I don't care what color. I don't like, look, y'all know me. You could be black, white, Puerto Rican, Canadian sharp. I don't care. I would never go out there and do anything like that. For what? What am I doing? Why am I impeding officers' business? What am I doing? For what? If I got a problem with what's happening, I'm going to go to court. I'm going to figure it out that way. I'm not going to be trying to just ram officers and then I get shot. Oh, nah. I did that. That's my fault. But of course, you got the activists, quote unquote, the people out there so-called protesting. You got them out there. They didn't like what happened at all. Let's watch some of this. Okay, there's no sound here, but you can see what's going on. Okay, all these people. Hey, man, look. Minneapolis. I feel bad for you guys out there in Minneapolis, man. I really do, because, you know, I know you guys who live there, who watch me and who watch, who are conservative in general. You guys are not going to be out here doing the nonsense that they are doing. But unfortunately, you are forced to share a space with them in the same city. Maybe you're not going to be in the same physical location as these ne'er-do-wells, as these dimwits. You may not be out there with that same energy in that same space, but you got to share the same state, the same city at a time. You might go into a grocery store trying to get your regular food, and you see a whole group of them, and they black, no deodorant. They boycott deodorant, okay? But they got on all black, no deodorant, acting the fool. You got to deal with them. No one wants to truly deal with that. I know I don't. I know y'all don't either. And that stench, I don't want to deal with that stench neither, let alone the violence. Okay. Now, here's where they're throwing snowballs, I believe.
It looks as though there are some people, as you can see, throwing snowballs at some of these officials that are moving down towards what appears to be the scene. And I want to get a closer look here because it looks as though there may be, I don't know if it's a skirmish yet or obviously some kind of a conflict. There's some exchange of words happening here. The snowballs keep flying there. It looks as though there's some news crews on the ground as well. It looks as though there are some people.
I mean, just terrible behavior. But again, that is Minneapolis. Now, let's see what the news says about it. This is going to be ABC. Let's see what they say and if they get it right. And I have a feeling that they won't get it right. Let's watch some of this.
Good evening. We begin tonight here with the chaos unfolding after an ICE agent shoots and kills a woman in Minneapolis. Authorities say it happened during an immigration-related operation. Chilling video of the shooting now emerging on social.
You see the one guy right there they got. Hold on. Did y'all see that? Hey, you want to play games? Watch this. Pepper spray straight to the dome.
Chilling video of the shooting now emerging on social media tonight. And a warning here, the images are disturbing. The driver, a 37-year-old woman behind the wheel of her SUV, partially blocking an intersection. No! Two federal agents.
Blocking an intersection, blocking ICE agents from going forward intentionally because she's been stalking them all day. Let's say it right, David.
Agents try to open her door.
Hold on. Let's go back a little bit. Pardon me.
Partially blocking an intersection.
No!
Two federal agents try to open her door. You see the vehicle reverse and then drive forward. A third agent then opening fire, shooting multiple times, killing the driver, hitting her in the head. All of this playing out in front of
Good shot, Moni.
Protesters.
I'm sorry.
Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem claiming the driver tried to run over ICE agents. The mayor of Minneapolis, Jacob Frey, saying these claims of self-defense from ICE are, quote, a garbage narrative, telling ICE to get out of Minneapolis. ABC's Alex Perez leading us off from the scene tonight.
Tonight, protests and anger on the streets of Minneapolis after a federal agent shot and killed a woman this morning, caught on horrific video posted on X. ICE claiming self-defense, local officials calling it reckless.
She appears to be a middle-aged white woman.
The incident unfolding around 10 o'clock this morning. The disturbing video posted on X shows the vehicle back up as an officer grabs a door. Then multiple shots, including through the windshield. The car accelerating and crashing.
It was horrible. I mean, she crashed her car into a parked car in front of me. A neighbor ran across the street and opened her car door to see if she could provide any assistance.
The angry crowd forced back, throwing snowballs. Agents responding with pepper spray and tear gas.
There is nothing to indicate that this woman was the target of any law enforcement investigation or activity.
The Department of Homeland Security, who announced they were sending at least 2,000 agents to Minnesota this week to begin what they called their largest immigration operation to date, says agents acted in self-defense, claiming they were stuck in the snow when the woman attacked them.
They were attempting to push out their vehicle, and a woman attacked them and those surrounding them and attempted to run them over and ram them with her vehicle.
Mayor Jacob Fry, reacting to claims of self-defense, did not mince words.
Having seen the video of myself, I want to tell everybody directly, that is.
He had this message for ICE.
To ICE, get the out of Minneapolis.
Okay. I want to pause for a second. So you heard that cussing, get the F out of Minneapolis. Now, what if you had that Somali dude? What would he say? A lot of what bar? Would he say that during the press conference? I'm just asking, but I digress.
We do not want you here.
Governor Tim Walz urging calm, but laying blame squarely at the Trump administration's feet.
What we're seeing is the consequences of governance designed to generate fear, headlines, and conflict. It's governing by reality TV. And
look at this dude, man. Look at this guy. Look at him. Can you imagine? Hey, I want to thank God in heaven that we have Donald Trump as a president. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Jesus. Because what if we had Kamala and this doofus in the White House, man? We would be, it'd be rough. It'd be real bad if we had this guy. Look at him. Just before you even talk, anyway.
Headlines and conflict. It's governing by reality TV. And today that recklessness cost someone their life.
And David, you can see demonstrators are still on the street here in Minneapolis. The victim has been identified as a 37-year-old Renee Nicole Good. These demonstrators say they plan to stay on the streets until ICE leaves Minneapolis.
So there we go. Again, 37 years old, Renee Nicole Wood. That's the lady that was out there trying to block protesters, getting in the way, tried to run one over with her vehicle and got popped. Hey, you know what? I pray for her family. I don't know nothing about her family. She got kids or whatever. Pray for them. But if you do something like that, you have to expect that you're going to go ahead and get dealt with. I don't care what color you are, where you come from, what language you speak. That's just a thing you don't do. That's a thing that you don't do. Okay, so here's an eyewitness who is giving her 2 cents about what happened. Okay. I'm not quite sure that I've seen her in the news. Maybe I have, maybe I haven't, but let's just watch.
They clearly wanted her out of there because she was the main car leading the protest, is my understanding. I talked to another guy who was driving behind her, but she was very successful in blocking traffic. She was doing what she was set out to do, and so they wanted to get her the hell out of there. Yeah.
So it looked like she was impeding ICE vehicles.
Definitely, yeah. Okay. That was her goal. They clearly wanted her.
So we got an eyewitness who was there saying, you know what? She was blocking all the traffic, meaning the ICE vehicles, and they wanted to get her out the way because she was blocking ICE vehicles. Okay. Now, when they're trying to say, hey, get out the car, et cetera, hits it in reverse, then hits it in drive, aligns the wheel up to go forward, and then she's trying to just go ahead and delete an ICE officer. But it didn't work, and she got deleted. So what do you do? What did you do? Anyway, but that's that on that. Let's keep rocking and rolling here. Let me see. Hold on. This is Zamdani talking about what happened. All right, this is Zamdani. You already know what you're going to get from him. All right, the commie, Zamdani, what's his opinion about Minneapolis?
First, just want to make clear that the news coming out of Minneapolis is horrific. This is one part of what has been a year full of cruelty. And we know that when ICE agents attack immigrants, they attack every single one of us across this country. And this is a city and will always be a city that stands up for immigrants across the 5 boroughs. And I have made it clear to everyone within my city government, and that extends to NYPD, that we are going to uphold our sanctuary city policies. We are going to adhere to them. That is why one of the 11 executive orders that we signed was to repeal the previous administration's order to allow for collaboration with ICE on Rikers Island. What we are going to be doing is following the laws that we have set, laws which have kept New Yorkers safe. And we are going to make it clear to each and every person in the city what their rights are. That's why we took the time to make a Know Your Rights video, because it goes back to the earlier question. If you don't know of your rights, then how can you be expected to actually use those rights? So we are going to take every opportunity we have to inform New Yorkers of what they already can do, and also to make it clear to our own city government agencies and departments across the board, including NYPD, that we are not here to assist ICE agents in their work. We are here to follow the laws of New York City. First,
all right, there you go. So shout out to my New Yorkers. I'm praying for y'all. I really am. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm really praying for y'all, because this is your mayor. This is your guy. That's your man. Okay. Hopefully everything works out the way it's supposed to. I hope so, because that right there did not sound very comforting to me. Not very comforting at all. All right. Now, where we going to go next? Okay. Here's Tampon Tim telling people, hit the streets. Go out there in the streets and protest, quote unquote, against the big bad ICE.
Look, and I understand the uniqueness of this moment in this week, following this week, seeing what's happening in the backdrop of a show hearing in D.C. My job is to govern, and my job is to see what the facts are. This happened a couple of hours ago, and we're already pitting American against American. All of you saw a video in your eyes. We have a chaotic situation caused by the largest deployment in American history of federal agents into a community with no communication to locals. We had a chaotic situation where an individual is in their car, shot and killed. And so, look, I want to be very cautious here, because Donald Trump will make this about me. He will make this about politics.
Orange man bad. And you see the Somali flag, Minnesota flag behind him.
Politics. This is about public safety, and this is about normalcy. To Americans who are watching this, if you're in Portland or you're in LA or you're in Chicago or you're wherever they're coming next, stand with us. Stand with us against this. This was so preventable, so unnecessary, and I don't know. I hope. Maybe we're at the McCarthy moment. Do you have no decency? Do you have no decency? We have someone dead.
See? Now that right there, to me, you're inciting something. You're inciting something. And bro, Ozempic, it ain't for everybody. And it really ain't for nobody, but that's a different story. You could tell, because it's like, you look like you deflated. It's like you got a balloon, you just... Because when you're on Ozempic, just right quick, before I continue and get off of this particular subject, when you're on Ozempic, you can lose weight, but you're not eating properly. So you're going to lose weight and muscle. You're going to lose just overall mass. And the result is you're going to look the same as you were when you were fat, just like a smaller version of your fat self. Sometimes. In his case, that's kind of what it looks like. Him and Brandon Johnson, the mayor of Chicago. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Now, normal. Let's keep going here. Let's go to Tampon. Speaking about Tampon, let's go to his daughter. This is Tampon Tim's daughter talking about Nick Shirley. Okay. Now, people like this person. What's his daughter's name? Let me just make sure I'm saying the right thing. And I'm not saying the wrong thing. Tampon Tim Walz's daughter. Her name is Hope. Hope Walz, okay? Let's check her out.
People engage with that.
It feels more trustworthy than the news to a lot of people.
It does, and I can't quite, I have my own problems with, the media and, all of that. Sure. And that's, I said in a video this morning, now I can kind of be let loose, and, I definitely want to have some of those conversations going forward.
Yeah.
But I definitely think people see somebody and they're like, oh, this person's, I see myself in them, and so I'm going to believe them. And that is what people definitely see in me. I think then that's like an ethical thing on his end. Like, you can't just go and do this to people. I don't know.
Yeah, but
in communities.
But I watch it. I haven't watched the whole video like you. I've watched a lot of clips on there because he's posting a lot of them. But the style of it, I watch it. I'm like, oh no, like this is my style. This is what I do. Yeah. And like here I am, like feeling like what I'm doing is a good thing, but then it can be used. So easily.
Yeah, and there's
really
no like checks
harm.
and balances on content, or not many, and just social media in general.
Okay, so let's do a little recap here. Now, this is, again, Tampon Tim Walz's daughter on a podcast with another guy who has a podcast. They both are influencers, I suppose. They put out content the same way Nick Shirley does, but because Nick Shirley's content was effective and it impacted the Somalis who they want to defend, then it's a bad thing. But when they do it and maybe it'll hurt a conservative or something like that, it's fine. It's cool when they do it. It's a problem when I do it. That's all I heard right there in that particular piece. Shout out to Nick Shirley. Hey, Nick, you are doing the Lord's work. Don't let anyone tell you anything else. All right. Shout out to Nick. Now, guess who was on The View again? Again. All right. Wasn't she already on there like a few weeks ago? Hey, Marjorie. Orange woman bad. Listen, Marjorie, when you are officially out, which you should be right now, of government, just go to The View. Just go do that. That'll be fine. They love to have you ever since Ana Navarro had to go ahead and support Trump for the Maduro situation. Hey, get rid of Ana Navarro. Let her go to Univision or somewhere like that, Telemundo. And you, right on The View, you have everything. The soccer mom aesthetic, the orange skin tone, blonde hair. You're looking like Hollywood Hulk Hogan. You'd be a great fit on The View. But anyway, what did she say? Check it out.
I've been so blessed serving the district that I served. And
why didn't you just stay there?
Well, I think when it comes down to the president that I helped get elected, the party that I donated to and represented, and having the president turn on me and calling me a traitor for standing with women.
Pause. Me. That's all I hear. What about your constituents? What about people of Rome and Dalton and everywhere else in northern Georgia? What about them? All I hear is me. What about them? Not really a big deal. That's fine.
Who were raped as teenagers, and then having no one in the party stand up for me. That was a high bar, but really when it came down to death threats, which I had become used to, but when they came in on my son because of the president's words, it's too much.
Right.
So
I get it.
And I believe in term limits.
Yeah.
I've been.
Yeah, I do too. You know what, Marjorie? There we can agree. I do agree with term limits. That is a great thing to have, for sure. Okay, so shout out to Marjorie Taylor Greene, Orange Woman Bad, on The View again. Hey, just go do that. Hang out with Tim Dillon on his podcast. That was a ridiculous podcast. Go on his podcast, go on The View, and just go on CNN and badmouth Trump for like a Mike Pence. Well, Donald Trump is a threat to democracy. Go in there and say that. You can make a good living doing that. And you got plenty of money from your stock options that you had when you were in Congress. That's a different story. And I digress. Now, yesterday was the 5th anniversary of J6. And you know we got to show some cringe for that. We got to show some cringe for that. You can see right here, we got Nancy Pelosi at all of 1,087 years old. Chuck Schumer, the same age. And a few more of them. Check it out.
Guide her and guide her through the night with the light from above, from the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America.
right, there we go. So that's the J6 anniversary on the steps of the Capitol. You know what I mean? With the little candles singing. All right. That's Democrats for you right there. That's Democrats for you right there. Hey, while Trump's out there, you know, capturing dictators, making deals happen, getting oil, getting the economy back on track, they out there singing and carrying on. Okay, that's kind of what's happening. So yeah, you thought it was AI? Nope, sure wasn't. Sure wasn't. All right, let's keep going here. Now this guy, I have no idea who he is, but he says he's going to Mexico because all this MAGA stuff, all this stuff is just a little bit too much. All right, so let's check it on out. He looks like me if it was an alternative universe. Like if something happened, like something went wrong and it was a little bit of a glitch in the system and they just produced him instead of me. But anyway, let's watch.
All right, MAGA. You can have it. You can have the whole damn thing, the whole damn country. You and friggin' Trump, that whole administration can go to hell. I've had enough of you guys. You know, all I ever do is come in and ask questions. And you guys are just as mean as snakes, man. As mean as you can friggin' be. We've had enough. My wife and I are selling our place. And we're moving. We're gonna friggin' move to Mexico, man. I'm so tired of you guys. My wife is in the house right now, bawling her friggin' eyes out because of you guys. What the hell's the matter with you? Where's your humanity?
Good, bro.
You can have it. I'll tell you what. Mark my words on this. Trump's going down. That whole administration is. And I'll watch it from afar. And furthermore, I'm not going anywhere.
Oh, okay.
You know what? I'm going to be here for it. I'm going to be here for when the administration falls. You guys crawl into your little holes and you hide and try to act like you had nothing to do with it. Because they're going down. It's only a matter of time now. I can see it. We can all see it. I'm not going anywhere.
Okay, there we go. So, bro, I thought you were going to Mexico. You're going to be culturally enriched. It was going to be a great time. You're going to be in the rural areas, getting water from a well, living a life. But no. You're going to stay right here and watch it burn. If you have such little faith in the country, why would you want to stay? If you thought that we were not going to succeed, why would you stay in a failing state like that? It doesn't make any sense. You think that if we just fail under Trump, you can vote in a Democrat and make it all better? Nah. The president you have, you want him or her to perform to their maximum. Hey, if it was Joe Biden in there or Kamala or that funny looking dude with the Ozempic, if it's them, I want them to do well. I'm not a big fan of theirs, but I still want them to do well. So yeah, shout out to him. Hey, I thought he was leaving. What happened? I thought he was leaving. You're not going nowhere? Oh, okay. It's fine. Don't even worry about it. Because you came to your senses. You out there huffing and puffing. You came to your senses. Like, you know what? I was tripping. My bad. I'm not going nowhere. I'm just kind of letting out a little bit of steam. That's all that's happening right now. Okay, now look. Going back to Mom Donnie. This is his aide, Cia Weaver. Listen, her name is spelled C-E-A. C-E-A. I'm not making it up. What is C or Cia? I don't know. Cia Weaver. She says that home ownership is an example of white supremacy. Meanwhile, her mom owns a home in Tennessee worth $1.6 million. Let's watch. Let's watch. And there we go.
Democratically controlled public housing is really important. And that's why when Raquel was talking about the communities and that she's describing, that, you know, that's a created community where the people who are living there are like setting the agenda. And so, you know, people like home ownership because they like control, and that's been perverted by like deep racism and deep classism in our society. So like we have to not have a racist and classist society. And so that's like something we need to think about like deeply. But, you know, to me, it's about control. And why rent control is really important is because rent control alters the power dynamic between renters and who owns the building. And
I think the reality is that for centuries, we've really treated property as an individualized good and not a collective good. And we are going to transitioning to treating it as a collective good and towards a model of shared equity will require that we think about it differently. And it will mean that families, especially white families, but some POC families who are homeowners as well, are going to have a different relationship to property than the one that we currently have.
So there you go. How do you guys feel about that? You know, property as an individual thing? Nah. Ownership? Nah. It's all about the collective. That sounds just like you own nothing and love it. That's kind of what that sounds like to me. So I'm not really a big fan, especially when your mom has that beautiful house worth $1.6 million in Tennessee. It's do as I say, never as I do. Always with these people. Always, always, always. Always. Okay. And they asked her something about that actually on Spectrum News. I guess it's like, in New York, they asked her about that. Like, hey, do you really believe that property is a tool of white supremacy and that property should not be an individual thing? It should be part of the collective. Let's watch this.
Something you'd said on Twitter about home ownership being a tool of white supremacy. I wanted to give you a chance to respond. You're not out of your mind, right?
I don't think I'm out of my mind. Okay. I think that some of those things are certainly not how I would say things today and are regretful. But I do think my sort of decades of experience fighting for more affordable housing sort of stands on its own.
Something you'd said on.
Okay, so she's kind of like, well, if you're mad about the words I said, then okay, I'm sorry, but I still stand by what I said. I said what I said. That's what I heard. Don't worry about my wording, but I still said what I said. It's bad and it's wrong. My mom has a house, but don't worry about that because we're the privileged and the elites, and it shouldn't really be about the privileged and the elites. It should be about you guys. Am I going to sell it? I'm not going to sell anything, but I'm just saying I don't really want to be privileged, although I am. That's how they think. It's about them doing whatever they want to do, but you must operate under a certain set of rules that they have for you, which strips your freedom away. And that's not a place I really wanted to be at all. Now, this person is using the welfare money on tattoos. Okay. Gender, I suppose this is a woman, I guess. But y'all know, 2026, I don't know what's going on with these genders. And I don't know what's happening, but I'm going to presume there's a woman. And don't ask me why there's a cage in their back seat, because I don't want to know the answer. But anyway.
Of control. I am a disabled person whose primary source of income is disability pension. I'm currently on my way to get the next session of my gorgeous chest tattoo done. How about we have a chat about why tattoos are so important to me and why I think it is absolutely worth it to spend part of my limited income on things like tattoos and piercings. Really, it all comes down to gaining a sense of control over my body. It's quite common when you are disabled to feel like you don't have any control over your body or over your life. Because, a lot of the times our bodies stop us from achieving the things we want to achieve and doing the things that we love to do. In my case, the majority of my disabilities started when I was 19, and they started pretty randomly. We still don't know exactly what caused them. My body just failed one day, and all of a sudden I lost my ability to do all of the things that I love to do and achieve any of the goals that I had. And that obviously left me feeling pretty helpless and incredibly frustrated and resentful of my body. For me, my appearance is one of the few things about my body that I still have control over. I can't get it to be healthy and functional anymore, but I can get it to look the way that I want to. And I personally do that by getting piercings, by getting tattoos, and by dyeing my hair. All things that other people would say is a complete waste of money, but is absolutely essential to me and my mental health and my sense of self and body image. Being disabled is really hard, physically and mentally, and we sometimes need to do a little bit extra to make ourselves feel happy and comfortable within our own bodies.
Okay, there we go. So basically what I heard was, you know what? Makes me feel good to get all these tattoos all over my face and this, not the piercings. It makes her feel good to get the piercings on her face and the tattoos all over her body. So it's okay to get that welfare money and use it for that. But see, here's the thing. people that work and who are not on these benefits don't necessarily have that option to go out there and do what you're doing. And they may be disabled too, and they may have struggles too. So they can't get what you're getting because they got to go out there and work. They're not given money to go do whatever they want to do. So I'm not really buying that whole thing. Oh, I got to get tattoos. Really? You got to get tattoos. That's part of your thing. So you're just going to take it upon yourself to use the money that you're getting to help you survive for luxury items, for feel good things. I mean, what's next? You're supposed to be able to get a emotional support dog with the welfare money. How about a little bit of Amazon shopping? How about a Shein cart? Hey, let me use my welfare benefits for my Shein cart. I got to get this shirt and this pants and 1,000 pieces of other clothing that I'm not going to wear. The Amazon box going to be right on the ground for 2 weeks. I ain't going to open it because that helps my mental health. Yeah, I'm not really sure where that's going. I'm not really a fan of that. What do y'all think? Should welfare money go toward face piercings, body tattoos as part of a mental health thing if you're disabled? Y'all let me know what you think. Okay, what do you guys think? Personally, like I say, people that are disabled or may not be disabled who are working very hard and they're not on benefits don't have that option. Okay, they don't have that option. Now, Venezuela, speaking about those might be a little bit handicapped potentially. Venezuela protesters. Let's take a look.
Not another nickel, not another dime. Not another nickel, not another dime. Bombing Venezuela is a crime.
Let's go back. Hey, what do you think of when you see this person in his outfit? It's me, Mario. That's what I see right there. Where's Luigi at? Where is Luigi? Mario. Ain't no more games coming out, bro? Like, what's happening? Ain't no more games coming out? You got laid up by Nintendo? Ain't no more posters, movies, games. Matter of fact, you got a movie coming out. So why aren't you going to red carpets and doing interviews for the movie? Like, you out here leading protests? Come on, bro. Anyway.
Bombing Venezuela is a crime.
And look, hold on. You see the flags? Look at her sign. We got all the flags. Okay, but we got Palestine. Is that Sudan? Like, I'm seeing another flag over there. What is that? Hold on. Let me make sure I'm saying, yeah, Sudan. Okay, so that's Sudan on the right. On the left, that's Palestine. On the bottom, that's Ukraine. And then on the right-hand side, that's Venezuela. So we got all the flags of all the places, where all the things, all the protests are happening. All righty. And of course, you got this lady right here looking like Jenny from Forrest Gump. Looking like Jenny when she was with the Black Panther. Hey, the Black Panther era Jenny from Forrest Gump out there with the sign. You cannot make this stuff up. I promise you can't. I promise you can.
You know, there's a chant that we use. We say, U.S. imperialist, #1 terrorist.
Now, who is this? Fang Fang, Yum Yum. Who is Yum Yum out here leading this protest? And of course, it'd be a Fang Fang or a Yum Yum because China is upset at what happened because they want to continue to have the influence on Venezuela.
And there's a reason why we say that. We stand with the Venezuelan people and we demand that U.S. release President Maduro and First Lady Celia Flores. Free Maduro, free Flores.
Hey, say it in your language. Say it in Chinese. Like, let's don't play no games out here, lady. Say it in your language. I ain't gonna do no Chinese accent. I'm not racist. Say it in that rather than the English. I had to. I'm sorry.
The corrupt Trump administration is repeating the same mistakes as past U.S. presidents. This is another attempted U.S. military coup to prevent the people from ruling themselves. And the true.
Hey, she got that R good. She got that R real good. Okay, hey, you know what? You're a pretty good speaker. You got that R. You nailed it.
Distribution of wealth and resource for all.
So it looks like everyone who is protesting this are not Venezuelan. Now, there are some protests in Venezuela, but it's mostly like the loyalists. It's them. It's not the masses of people. It's not them. It's not 99% of the country. Okay, but if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Now, this was hilarious because speaking about Venezuela, Cuba should be next. I hope it's next. Shout out to Cuba. I know Marco wants to get that done because Marco Rubio is Cuban. But anyway, this podcast, I'm not quite sure what it is. The question is, hey, have you ever seen communism or socialism work? Have you seen it work? And if you have seen it work, give me one good example. Okay, you ready for this? Let's watch. Hold on, let's get some sound.
I want you to give me one example of socialism you think working well somewhere.
A good example of socialism working well somewhere, this is a really, really cool question. I think of Cuba in particular, very, very high literacy rate, number one. Number two, extremely strong commitment to public health. So that's one example that I can think of that would resonate with pretty much anybody in our state who cares about education or healthcare. Would you disagree with that?
Cuba? Really? Now, before I continue, hold on, I'm going to continue. I just want to make sure I'm saying the right thing. Now, this guy, I think, is from Washington State. I don't know his name, but he's from Washington State. And I believe he's in office some kind of way in Washington State. All right, let's keep going here.
People flee on makeshift rafts and die in the ocean to flee Cuba for the United States.
Yeah, and I think that is something that absolutely we have to be sensitive to, but you asked me about institutions that are working really, really well.
I asked you about places socialism is working, and you chose a country that people will risk their lives to flee from to this country. There's a reason for that, Sean.
There was a revolution in Cuba. That is correct.
They still do it to this day.
Right.
They show up on the beaches of Miami.
Right.
Because they would rather be here and would risk their lives in shark-infested water to flee the country that you just gave me an example of.
And if the situation were reversed, the injuries and the ailments that they sustain as a result of migrating to a place where they believe that they're going to be better off, I believe that they could be treated in a much better way than American healthcare facilities are currently able to treat people. So that's one example that I can think of socialism working very well in public health and in education.
All right.
Wow, Cuba. I never would have thought that somebody would say Cuba is a good example of socialism. Sir, Cuba is not a good example. You're talking about starvation, poverty, power, infrastructure, all of that stuff is just not really there. People are trying to escape. They're trying to get out of Cuba. They're trying to do whatever they can to get out of Cuba because, again, it doesn't work. Communism, socialism, whatever you want to call it, however you want to dress it up, it does not work. It fails. And Cuba has failed. And now, ever since Venezuela is about to start to change and get more toward democracy in a true country that's not dependent upon some communist ideals of the past into a real capitalist society, Cuba is saying, hey, you know, we could be next. Because Venezuela was propping up Cuba, although Cuba is not doing well still. Cuba would do better if it was allowed to just be its own place without the communism. And you named them as an example, bro, that's crazy. And the person, this guy right here, again, this is in Washington State, and the reporter, one of you guys said that's Brandy Cruz out there in Seattle, local reporter. So shout out to Brandy Cruz, Kruse. Shout out to her. All right, let's keep on rocking and rolling here. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Now, this is Sneeko. I don't know too much about him. I don't watch streams. I'm not 15 years old, but he's like really popular among young people. And he's out there to protest for, and he has a question about Maduro, Venezuela, or whatever. Check it out.
Captured. He's not.
He was captured?
Yes.
What's the
in
difference?
Your point of view, I can see it that you aren't there for him because he lost the election. But once you get in power with socialism, they never leave power.
I understand what you're saying, but as an American, like I don't care about your elections. If he won the election or not, that doesn't matter. Trump brought troops to your country, kidnapped your president. You say it's captured, whatever. Those are synonyms.
Percentage of you, but to all the Venezuelans that you ask, they are so happy.
I know.
Because the freedom is just right there.
But my point is, it doesn't matter to Americans whether or not Venezuelans are happy.
Oh, you are as an American, that's your point of view. But many other Americans, the quiet ones, they are happy. I grew up in the Venezuela, where Venezuela was the jewel of South America.
Okay.
Socialism took it. Excuse me, I'm talking.
Oh my God.
Are you Venezuelan? From where are you from? Okay, I'm not. Okay. Yeah, I am American too. I'm Venezuelan. Okay.
So if you didn't hear, because there's kind of a lot going on, she's like, look, I grew up in Venezuela when it was the jewel of South America. It was a great place. But then when Chavez came in and the Russians and the Chinese and the Iranians and the communism, when that came in, things declined. It went down. Our quality of life, our country fell. And we've been waiting 26 years to get back on track. And Trump does what no one else is going to do. And then some are going to say, well, why can't they do it on their own? Well, you think they could just go and just commit an ouster of the president and the 2,000 generals? You think you could just do that without having any kind of external help? How? What planes and rockets and boats and whatnot you got to be able to do that? Let's be serious. They're going to need the U.S. or somebody else to come in and help. A bigger power than them. And that just happened to be us. And it helps us because they're in our hemisphere. If China, Russia, Iran, if that consortium, they're able to get Greenland and they're able to get Venezuela and Cuba, that's just too much influence in our backyard. It's a national security concern. So that's what that is. But shout out to her. And there's always somebody that's not Venezuelan arguing that Venezuela was a bad decision. Always. I've yet to see a Venezuelan actually get on TV or camera or something and speak and say that it was a bad thing that this happened. Not even Ana Navarro from The View said that it was a bad thing that they got Maduro. Everyone says the exact same thing. Let's keep going here.
So you probably saw some Democrats, including the new mayor of New York, Zoran Mandani, literally declare that what Trump did on Saturday morning was illegal. What do you think of that?
Again, if people don't live through it, they won't know how desperate us Venezuelans are for a change. I know they're talking about Trump only wanting the oil, but everybody's there for the oil. Russia, Iran, everybody's there for the oil already, China. So if Trump needs the oil to give us freedom, then that's a price we're willing to pay just so that we have our freedom and make a change. In 26 years, nobody has done anything for our country except for Trump. So if that's a price that he's the only one that has made an action on it, and he's the only one that has delivered his promise. So if that's the price we need to pay for it, then that's okay. Venezuela has a lot of other resources. It's not just oil. We have minerals. We have so many other things that once our country is better, then we, as Maria Corina always say, we will be an amazing country. We just need that change and somebody to help us for it.
There we go. There it is. There it is. That's what you're going to hear from the Venezuelans. That's what they're saying. That's what they're saying. That's what they're telling everybody. That's what they're telling me. I done got messages. I done got all kind of DMs, emails, everything. People telling me the exact same thing. Like almost verbatim the exact same thing. So yeah, shout out to the Venezuelans who appreciate what's really going on. Okay. Hold on. I see a super chat right here. Out in Ander, I know I'm turning it up, says, imagine having a luxury. Matter of fact, I'm gonna read that toward the end because it went past me. It went past me. But I'm gonna read super chat at the end. But thank you for that super chat. I'm gonna read that at the end of the videos. All right, let's keep going here. Where we at? Oh, I gotta show. This is Ana Navarro from The View. Not on The View, but from The View. talking about Maduro and praising Trump for doing what he did.
Today for me is a good day because Maduro is out. He is a son of a bitch. I hope this sends a message to the other sons of bitches in the region. You may disagree with the way Trump did it, but it's done. There was no way that it was going to end any other way, because once he started bombing boats, and we've bombed boats and alleged drug boats and killed over 115 people. I think Trump thought getting rid of Maduro was going to be easy and Maduro was going to scare easily. He didn't. It took him doing this. So yeah, he did it without congressional authorization. This was an act of war. All of these things, but it's now done. I think it doesn't escalate from here because the objective of this was to get Maduro out. And certainly there's an oil component. Certainly there's a lot of Trump ego in this about, being able to do it. But it's done. And I, for one, I am very happy that Maduro is out. And I pray and hope for the freedom and peace.
There we go. So again, that is Ana Navarro from The View. And she's from Nicaragua. So that gives you an idea. That's like right there. So she understands the situation. Everybody that's like Latin American or Hispanic in general, even like Spanish people from Spain, they're all saying the same thing. I've yet to see many people come out and say this was a bad thing who are actually from the area or they're Hispanic and they understand what's going on. Very few people say that. And, that's why I did my videos on Sunday. Shout out to you guys who watched those compilations. I made sure to have one in Spanish, all Spanish, the title Spanish, the description Spanish, everything Spanish, because what people are going to say, oh, well, everybody's speaking English. They're not really Venezuelan. Okay, I give you straight Venezuelan speaking in Spanish, telling you exactly what's going on. And then new videos all in English are the same thing. People say, oh, well, it's not everybody. Some disagree. You might have some disagree, but how many is that really? Now, speaking about Venezuela, here's our future president, Marco Rubio, talking about what's happening and his role. Hey, have you guys been seeing these Marco memes? They got Marco pretty much wearing everything. Hold on, I'm gonna show you a couple of memes, then we're gonna keep on with the video. But they got Marco wearing everything because he has so many hats. It's crazy. Okay, hold on. Let me just load a few up. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Okay, yeah, here we go. Here's a good one. So they got Rubio wearing everything. A Canadian Mountie, the Shah of Iran, the Viceroy of Venezuela, the Minnesota governor, the CEO of Hilton. I don't know what you got to do, right? You got to go to Greenland. And a lot of these are kind of right because he is the point man behind the whole Venezuela thing. And he was requested by Denmark and Greenland to talk because Marco said that we want to buy Greenland. Okay, eventually we want to buy Greenland. So he's pretty much wearing all the hats and he's doing a good job. So shout out to Marco again. Hopefully the future president. I love it. You guys like those? There we go. All right. So here he is talking about Venezuela. And then they get into Greenland and a little bit more about Greenland. Let's watch.
Well, there's a lot of operational details that can't be discussed publicly, obviously, for obvious reasons. So as we move forward, we'll describe our process, which is a threefold process in Venezuela. I've described it to them now. Step one is the stabilization of the country. We don't want it descending into chaos. Part of that stabilization, and the reason why we understand and believe that we have the strongest leverage possible, is our quarantine. As you've seen today, 2 more ships were seized. We are in the midst right now and, in fact, about to execute on a deal to take all the oil. They have oil that is stuck in Venezuela. They can't move it because of our quarantine and because it's sanctioned. We are going to take between 30 and 50 million barrels of oil. We're going to sell it in the marketplace at market rates, not at the discounts Venezuela was getting. That money will then be handled in such a way that we will control how it is dispersed in a way that benefits the Venezuelan people, not corruption, not the regime. So we have a lot of leverage to move on the stabilization front. The second phase will be a phase that we call recovery. and that is ensuring that American, Western, and other companies have access to the Venezuelan market in a way that's fair. Also, at the same time, begin to create the process of reconciliation nationally within Venezuela so that the opposition forces can be amnestied and released and from prisons or brought back to the country and begin to rebuild civil society. And then the third phase, of course, will be one of transition. Some of this will overlap. I've described this to them in great detail. We'll have more detail in the days to follow. But we feel like we're moving forward here in a very positive way.
There we go. So that's him talking about everything we got going on with Venezuela. And the next thing will be Greenland.
Your comments to lawmakers, does the U.S. intend to buy Greenland? Does the U.S. intend to buy Greenland? Can you clarify your comments to lawmakers this week?
Well, that's always been the president's intent from the very beginning. He said it very early on. I mean, this is not new. He talked about it in his first term, and he's not the first U.S. president that has examined or looked at how could we acquire Greenland. There's an interest there. But so I just reminded them of the fact that not only did Truman want to do it, but President Trump's been talking about this since his first term.
The White House put out a statement last night saying that the military option is on the table. Thank you, Mr. Secretary. They said that the military option is on the table. So is the administration really willing to risk the NATO alliance by potentially moving ahead with military operations?
What I think the White House said yesterday is what I will tell you now, and I've always said. The president always retained the option. Every president, not this president, every president always retains the option. I'm not talking about Greenland. I'm just talking about globally. If the president identifies a threat to the national security of the United States, every president retains the option to address it through military means. As a diplomat, which is what I am now, and what we work on, we always prefer to settle it in different ways. That included in Venezuela. We tried repeatedly to reach an outcome here that did not involve having to go in and grab an indicted drug trafficker. Those were unsuccessful, unfortunately.
The people of Venezuela.
There we go. So again, that is our future president, Secretary of State right now, Marco Rubio, and we got Secretary of War Pete Hegseth in the background. Shout out to Pete, doing a good job. Hey, Pete, if that was you, the operation, fantastic. Very good. Very, very good. All right, now this is an older Nick Shirley video. I believe it was last year he did this, but this is not recent. This is like a little bit older. Nick went to Greenland. Listen, Nick, I've been a big fan of Nick since the beginning. Since I first saw him, he goes everywhere and just talks to the people and gets really good information. So this is an older Nick Shirley video where he went to Greenland and he was asking people, hey, what about Trump and getting purchased? What are your thoughts? Let's watch some of this.
I'm here in Greenland. This kid's got a MAGA hat on. What's your message to Donald Trump?
Buy Greenland. Buy Greenland.
Buy Greenland. Buy Greenland.
No more Danish.
No more Danish. We don't like Danish people.
Okay, so you hear what they said. Buy Greenland. No more Danish. We don't like the Danish people. Now, obviously, these are not Danish people, but these are what you would call indigenous people who lived in Greenland before the Europeans came and colonized them. That's what happened. So people talking about, Trump can't buy this sovereign country. What sovereign country? What you talking about? Denmark? What do you mean? Denmark is not Greenland. Greenland is Greenland. It's a territory owned by Denmark. So Denmark, come up off that. Hey, how much you want? Y'all need the money anyway. How much you want? Let me get that. Y'all can't control it. We can put a military base on it, and that's fine. But we need to really have like some serious control. So there we go. The locals are like, yo, we not with the Danish. They got MAGA hats on. Hey man, come on, America. That's what they're saying. Now I'm not saying all of those on Greenland will feel the same way, but there are some Greenlanders who would like for the U.S. to go ahead and purchase them. So what do y'all think? Would that be a good idea, bad idea? Now, Greenland is very similar to Venezuela because if we don't try to purchase Greenland and if we're not successful, China, Russia, Iran, China and Russia already got ships up there right now. They're already circling it with big ships, big battleships. They're already right there. So if we don't do anything, something will be done. Same thing with Venezuela. Right when the whole Maduro thing happened, the Chinese delegation was there. They were already there like that day when we did that. So there we go. Come off your heritage. Your heritage? What you mean come off your heritage? You talking to me? Again, Greenland is a place that the Danish colonized. So what heritage? Heritage of the Danish who were not from there, or of the indigenous people who were already there before the Danish came? I'm just trying to figure out what's happening. Now, this is a video from about 4 days ago where Trump was talking about the whole Venezuela thing and the endless wars happening across the world. This is a really good piece to listen to. Let's check it out right quick, shall we?
But we can't take a chance after having done this incredible thing last night of letting somebody else take over, where we have to do it again. We can do it again, too. Nobody can stop us. There's nobody that has the capability that we have. You know, when I watch that war in Russia going on and on and on and everybody dying, and it's like, it's primitive. It's primitive. It's horrible. It's really horrible. Could you tell us?
It is primitive. The clip is over right there, but it is primitive because it's like, look, okay, this endless war over years and years and years, thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions dead for what? For what? We were able to go into Venezuela, get them up out of there in 90 minutes. It was like going down the street, pick up something to eat and come right back home. Okay, going down to the Buc-ee's, getting a chicken sandwich and coming right back to the crib. Just in and out, thief in the night. Ain't gonna be no endless war, years and years, a whole country dying and military industrial complex getting built up. Nah. Quick strike. Iran, quick strike. All of these things, quick strikes. Now, some are going to say, well, there could be consequence. Well, there could be, but if we do nothing, there could be consequence too. But as far as I can see, we got him out of there immediately. And you know what? Saddam Hussein, like, what's going on with, why are these, like, dictators of these places looking like the same? I don't understand what that is. Is there a certain dictator skin they put on? A dictator costume, a dictator hairstylist? Hey, you know what, Maduro, I was Saddam Hussein's hairstylist. Now I'm going to come to your jank. Okay, get you a nice big thick mustache and a nice big piece of hair on top. Okay, cool. We're good money. Now you're ready to go out there and face the world as a dictator with your Saddam Hussein haircut and your Muammar Gaddafi type situation. But anyway, I agree with what Trump said about that. This endless war, hundreds of thousands dead is primitive, and we need to move beyond that, in my humble opinion. Got to move beyond that. All right. Now, let's keep on going here. Let's keep on going. Mom Donnie talking about the fares are going to be free. Wasn't that what I heard? We're going to have free buses. Now, was the free bus thing going to be for all buses or just some buses? I don't understand. But let's look at this right here. Rates for the bus are going up immediately.
Hi guys, from the New York City bus. Where Mayor Mamdani, he promised us a free ride, but guess what we got instead? Higher bus fares. Yes, that is right. Today, the price of this bus went up to $3. You know why? Because even with this price increase, the New York City buses and subways are barely able to function. The mayor of New York City has actually never had control over the transportation. That is controlled by the state. Yes, that's right, the governor. Mamdani, he lied to all of you, and guess who's paying the price? All of us, literally.
All right, there we go. So to be fair, the price was $2.90 before this. So $2.90 to $3, so a 10-cent raise. But I was told it was going to be free. Now, what would really be funny is that they raised the price and then had some of the routes free. So all you did was just make those who are not taking those routes pay for the routes that are free. That'd be hilarious. But it'll probably be an all-around-the-board raise with no free buses at all. Despite what Zoran promised, it ain't really going to happen. Now, here's Zoran going to a rent-controlled apartment. Okay. And expecting how there's not really much work done. Things are left in disarray and ramshackle because when you have a rent-controlled apartment, how can a landlord afford to make repairs? You have to be able to increase the rent because the cost of maintaining property increases with time.
When did this happen?
I can't remember exactly the date. A year.
A year?
More than years.
Mayor Zohran Mamdani inspecting broken floor tiles in an apartment on Clarkson Avenue in Prospect Lefferts Gardens, getting a first-hand look at the deteriorating conditions, from an eroding bathtub surface to a rust-covered, corroded bathroom pipe and red paint splashed about.
And you told the landlord about this?
Yes.
And what was the response?
Call some numbers, but nobody want to do anything about it.
Residents in this same building and in others owned by the landlord Pinnacle Realty say they've experienced similar conditions, from leaking bathroom ceilings to moldy drywall. Tenant unions rallying in response, demanding stronger tenant protections. On his first day in office, Mamdani made his first major policy announcement, signing 3 executive orders aimed at protecting tenants and fast-tracking housing across the city. He said this building, along with 92 others owned by the same landlord, is currently in bankruptcy proceedings and set to be auctioned off to a new owner, one who also ranks among the city's worst landlords.
In those buildings alone, there are more than 5,000 open hazardous violations and 14,000 complaints. This is an untenable situation. So today we are announcing that we will be taking action in the bankruptcy case, stepping in to represent the interests of the city and the interests of the tenants and say, once and for all, who this government will be fighting for.
The mayor also reestablishing the city's Office to Protect Tenants with a mission to defend tenants' rights and intervene quickly when they face illegal living conditions. It's a step that gives tenants like Mildred Ross hope.
To hear this executive order is something we're really excited about.
Okay, so look, the thing about it is the problem with these places is that they're rent controlled. So it doesn't matter who they get sold to. It doesn't matter what you do unless you're able to find some money from somewhere that is not being given by the tenants, then you're going to have the same conditions. You know, and you're talking about, okay, let's just take it over and run it as the city. Let it be city run. Let NYCHA run it. The New York City Housing Authority. Okay. NYCHA buildings are going to be the worst buildings. The problem is the lack of money. It's got to come from the tenants. And if not from the tenants, it's got to come from the city and or state. But that'll just cause taxes to rise up. And if the monies are not being spent appropriately, then it's going to be the same thing. It's going to be the same conditions. It's not going to be any different. Simple as that. Whether it's roaches, rats, all of that good stuff. Nah, I'm good. I am super good. All right, now, just a quick thing right here. Have you guys seen this? So the White House has released a new food pyramid. Okay, hold on. Let me just show it a little bit better here. Hold on. We got a brand new food pyramid, okay? And it says eat real food. Now this, I love it. The old food, hold on, let me show you the old food pyramid. Let me show you the old food pyramid, the one that we saw in school. And of course, these are recommendations. It's not like you have to do it. But here's the old food pyramid. Let me see if I can get a good picture. I'll give me a second right quick. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Okay, there we go. Food pyramid. So here's the old one. All right, here's the old one. You know, and they have, okay, this, if you don't know what the food pyramid is, it's like this is what they recommend that you get throughout your day. The kind of foods you consume. All right, and at the bottom, you see this is like the biggest part of the pyramid. This is like the basis. Your grains and wheat and flour and potatoes and stuff like that. They want that to be the biggest piece in the old food pyramid. At the top, they want the fats and the oils to be limited and sparing. And then they got like red meat, sausage, all that kind of stuff. You see what's going on with the food pyramid. Okay, now let's go back to what they put out, the new one. Okay, so it's upside down now. So we have your protein, dairy, healthy fats. So you got your steak, your cheese, your chicken, your salmon. I love that salmon. That looks good right there too. You got some beef, milk, olive oil, green beans. Over there we got vegetables, broccoli, carrots, peas, tomatoes. So that pear, cabbage, fruit. And as you get further down the pyramid toward the bottom, that's like you should have less of that than you do at the top. So the top, that should be your main thing that you eat. That's pretty much how I eat. A lot of healthy fats, fruits. They got my avocado right there. I love it. Your apples, that's good. And then once you get more toward the butter and the really sugary type of fruits, less of that, but still eat some of that too. And your whole grains, they want you to have less of the whole grains because a lot of our diet nowadays is consistent of processed food, which is based on a lot of these whole grains. Okay, a lot of breads and pastas and stuff like that. You know, white rice, heavily enriched flour, stuff like that is going on. High fructose corn syrup, a lot of that could kind of fit into that category as well. So what do y'all think? Is that a good way to go about it? Not so good? What do you guys normally do? Is it like this or is it the other way around? What's going on? You don't agree with the meat part? I think it makes sense. I think it does make sense. Yeah. Personally, I'm more of a salmon guy. So that's going to be my part of it. I'm not really a red meat kind of person. And if I do eat red meat, it's sparingly, like a little bit of it. But I eat that salmon like I'm a hog. I love that salmon. That's like a superfood for me. Olive oil. I'm not really a milk person, milk or cream. I do eat eggs occasionally, but not as much. Up here is where I pretty much stay. And down here, I have less of that. So I'm already pretty much like that. All right. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right, let's keep on going here. Let's keep on rocking. Now, Candace, right quick. Have you seen what's going on with Candace? Now, look, I'm not really into the Candace stuff, the drama, whatever. I'm not really into that. That's not my thing. But let me tell you guys what's going on with Candace. Let me just tell you this without even showing you any videos yet. Let me just tell you what's going on. So Candace Owens, at one point, you guys know, worked for Daily Wire. When she worked for them, she had a YouTube page and social media that they owned, okay? Now, she put the content out while on Daily Wire on these pages. The last piece of content was like March 24 or something like that. It's been quite a while. So what happened, a lot of you guys may have been following old channels and you saw a trailer pop up talking about she's going to the Daily Wire. Well, this is an old trailer that they put up as a new release, premiering it. So what they're trying to do is get attention to these channels because they want to start a new show, I presume, on those channels with somebody else, a Gen Z intern who will make fun of her and Tucker on the show. Her name is Maddie or Madison, I believe. That's her name. But anyway, so let me show you what they did. And then I'm going to show you. So look, this is the Candace Owens podcast. This is an old and active channel that the Daily Wire still own. And they made it active and they put this trailer out. And then you see what it says right here. Previously aired 3/9/21. Why are you showing this, almost 5-year-old trailer again?
Are we good, guys? Are we rolling? In this age of propaganda, and the media has done a really good job of creating a caricature of Candace Owens.
So I ain't going to play the whole thing because it's an old trailer, but you get the idea. This was the launch of the Daily Wire show back in 2021. And then you can see what it says right here. It said this account is from before the termination of Candace Owens. Daily Wire is attempting to do an impersonation account and did not list this ex-profiler as parody, in which is designed to deceive people into following before a bait and switching of the user. Right. So, hey, follow this channel, and what you're going to get in return is somebody else. Bait and switch. Daily Wire, I don't know what's really going on. I don't like that type of stuff. Some may not like Candace, but what are we doing? So Candace had responded to this and said that it's like a crazy ex, dealing with a crazy ex. And Daily Wire took the piece of her podcast where she said that, and then they put out another video on that same channel.
When you break up with someone and you have a crazy ex, that was how it felt like being fired from the Daily Wire. Daily Wire.
And the reason why she said that, to go back, the reason why she said that is because after she got fired by the Daily Wire, they were still following her to places. They were watching all of her videos, sending videos to people, sending clips to people, going to events where she was at, suing her, all kind of stuff. It was a lot. Normally, when somebody fires you, that's it. You don't talk to them no more. But in this case, it was not quite like that. And you know why? Because Candace, whether you love her or hate her, is a cash machine, big money machine, a viral machine. It's too much money. And Daily Wire are having a hard time being able to make it with just Matt Walsh and Ben Shapiro. That's not going to be enough. You got to have star power like Candace. So if you can't have Candace because she's talking about the Jays, all kind of stuff, well, how about you just capitalize on the previous work you did and have a new person come in there and make fun of her?
That I genuinely.
Ron Jones says, "Do you only like Candace because she's black? Are you retarded? Are you honestly special? Like, it's not even about me liking Candace or not. I'm just telling you the story about what's happening. Just shut up and watch the video. How about that?"
Really feel like when you break up with someone and you have a crazy ex, that was how it felt like being fired from the Daily Wire. Daily Wire, the Daily Wire, the Daily Wire, the Daily Wire.
So this is them playing a compilation of how many times she said the Daily Wire. So they're saying that she's the crazy ex. Back and forth, bickering, drama. And you know what? This is why I tell y'all that I don't watch female content creators that talk. If I follow a young lady on the internet, she don't say nothing at all. She don't talk at all for the most part. I don't, because what you're going to get with women, if they're actually women, biological, and they're not a bull dagger or nothing like that, you're going to get some cattiness if you hear them talk a lot. The View and Megyn Kelly and Candace are all like that, and it's okay. But I'm not interested in that kind of content. Now, if you watch a Rachel Maddow, a bull dagger, looking like Peyton Manning, Eli Manning, Arch Manning, all the Mannings in the face, then you may not get the cattiness. Why? Because she's a bull dagger. She's not very feminine. But if you get a feminine woman talking, it's going to be catty, which is what's happening right now at the Daily Wire. Okay, now look, let me show you a clip from the new show that's going to come out about Candace, but it's not Candace. All right. Hold on. This says ABL is distressed that people do their thing. I don't understand what that means. I don't get you. I don't understand.
Flag is a hexagonal beehive. All right, let's try this. Let's really try this, okay? Chronologically. Utah adopts the beehive symbol in 1948. Fast forward 175 years later, people start using bee language.
So what you're watching right now is a sneak peek, a leak of the new Daily Wire show in which this lady right here, this young lady, Madison, she will be reacting to Candace Owens videos and also Ben Shapiro videos. Okay, that's her purpose. That's her role. And I think they're going to launch her show on Candace's old podcast. So they're getting a bunch of clicks and views on the old podcast channel from people curious about what's happening. They'll just switch the branding to her. You see? And I don't like that. I think that's really slimy, actually, from Daily Wire. I don't like that at all. If you want to start a new person, put her on a new channel. Don't put the new person on an old channel owned by somebody else in which you're trying to make fun of that old person. I don't like that.
As codes. And I communicate with them by dancing. People that use the code, they're clearly communists because communists work together. They follow a hive mind. Yes, queen. Underground. Communists. Mormons live in Utah. I watched The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. I know what's going on here.
So are you guys going to watch this? Is that going to be on your go-to shows to watch in 2026? I hope not. I really, really hope that y'all are not into that. But hey, I'm not here to hate. I'm not here to judge. I'm just saying, if that is what people are watching, I don't know what to tell you. But I told y'all that already. I told y'all, look, Candace and stuff like that, shout out to Candace. But if you're not like a woman or a child, I don't see why you would watch that. I don't really get it. But hey, what do I know? Guy says, I'm a straight man, so no waste of time, cringing hard, care less, cut the cringe. It would not be my algorithm. Backup says, Deadly Wire taking more L's. The person they put to replace the other girl can't get any views. Exactly. And they were trying to have her be like Brett. Some of y'all watch Brett. I never watched Brett because, I mean, how do I look being in my bed and my feet up? Hey, ABL, what are you watching? I'm watching a teenage white girl on my phone talk about politics. Oh, okay, cool. How does that? Anyway, I don't care if she's black, white, or whatever. Don't nobody get offended. I'm not watching no women talk about politics, and definitely not a teenage Britney Spears looking. I don't really understand the purpose. But yeah, that's what's happening with the Deadly Wire. So if you saw some of that, across your timeline, that is the reason. I polluted you. I polluted you. And Candace defended Brett. Candace is a Brett fan. Candace says that the person is trying to be like Brett, but cannot be like Brett because Brett is mature. Now, I don't know a lot about Brett. I never watched any of that. That's not really my thing. That ain't my cup of tea. So if she's mature, that's cool. But if not, hey, it is what it is. Women can't give it 2 weeks. Hey, you know what? It might last a little while. It may last a while. I'm not sure how long that is, but it may last a while, maybe long enough to fail, because they're gonna put money into it as well. One thing about all these places, they're gonna put money into what they produce. And look, as I'm right here right now, I'm gonna say this before I keep on moving. This is part of the reason why I never signed to any company or management, anything like that, because when things get weird, it gets really weird. They're using your old stuff against you, taking you to court, all kind of extra stuff. They don't want you to leave. They want to keep getting money with you. They try to control what you say, control what you do. I can't really function that way. That's just not really what I'm into. I got to have my freedom. And if there is no freedom, then I don't understand what we have. I don't even know what we're doing if there's no freedom. Hold on, let me go on. She's 24. You talking about Brett or the young lady? I mean, hey, she could be 24. That's fine. I can't do nothing with it. No way. That ain't really. I should get my own cable channel. I like being independent, doing my own thing. Because with the cable channel, if I can have my own cable channel and run it and not the answer to no boss, then sure, let's do that all day long. But anything beyond that, I'm good. It's just too much to deal with. Too much going on. Too much nonsense. Okay. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Okay, I got a few more here that I want to get to before we get to some calls. All right. Where we at? This is, hold on, there we go. So this guy, speaking about food from earlier, the food pyramid, all that good stuff, this guy says that fast food is not cheaper. Okay, you can see these at the job site. Okay, he's at the job site with the headset on and everything. And he's going to show you that fast food is not cheaper from his point of view. Check it out.
Fast food is not cheaper than Whole Foods, and I'm going to show you proof right now. So right here we have the menu. So if you do a Whopper with cheese and you make that into a combo and you make that, let's say average, you say medium, that's already $15 right there. Then look at this. Look how much ground beef is. $20 for a pack of 3, 93.7 lean. So yes, on face value, this is technically more expensive, but imagine how many meals you can make with it. If you cut each of these in half, that means there's 6 pieces, and you can have each half go to 1 meal. That means you can have 6 meals and have like 40 grams of protein each meal just from half of one packet. So you're telling me you're not willing to invest another $4 to $5 to have quadruple the amount of meals you can make? It's crazy. Fast food.
And people say that fast food is cheaper because they don't understand how to shop. They just kind of go and just, and really it's a lie. Ultimately, it's a lie because people, they want to feel like justified in getting the fast food. It's not cheaper. especially now, it's very expensive, and people just want to get the fast food, so they tell themselves it's cheaper. That's the bottom line here. Yeah, like if you spend $15 to get like one little thing, you can spend the same $15 in the grocery store and get much more. I can get my whole meal that I normally get. I could get 2 of those meals for that same price of one fast food order. And the fast food not going to be nutritious. It's not really going to be all that good. The food that I cook with the store-bought ingredients from scratch is going to be much better tasting, more nutritious, and cheaper. So yeah, nah, it's not cheaper. Go to the grocery store and cook. And then especially when y'all get DoorDash, oh my goodness, because it's one thing to go to the drive-thru and pay for that. Then you want to go do DoorDash and get delivery fees and the tip. You spending $25 on Chick-fil-A. No, that is not cheaper. That is not better. That is all around the board. All around the board, it is worse. For sure. Okay, she has a farm store and she makes $1,500 a week. Okay, $1,500 a week from a farm store.
Farm store makes me $1,500 in a week. Let's go in and see how we did today. Okay, so my farm store has been open for about almost a month now. This weekend will mark 1 month. During the weekdays, I have been averaging about close to $100 a day. The weekends, I have been averaging anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500. During the weekdays, I like to do individual type things for like breakfast, so people that go to school or people that go to work can just stop by and grab something quick. So for example, this week I had fried apple pies, which are completely sold out. We had individual cinnamon rolls, which are completely sold out. We had blueberry streusel muffins. I only have 2 left and I made 12, I believe. We had another customer. Just put out these spiced bran muffins today. I also put out pumpkin spice streusel muffins, which are really good if you love pumpkin.
I don't know where she's at, but I need to go there because, hey, that right there, if I go into a store and I see little individually wrapped things like that, $3, oh yeah, I'm getting those. Like, let me get one of those right there with the frosting, and then let me get another one right there. Yeah, I'm gonna be. It's a little dangerous for me to go in there because already I got a little issue with the cookies. I'm going through I'm in rehab right now for the cookies. So pray for me and help me get beyond my cookie addiction. Okay. If I go in there, it's going to be a wrap. Yeah. I'm going to be all 1,000 in your weekly sales for sure. On a Saturday, man, please.
Muffins, which are really good if you love pumpkin. Also noticed that this week I had a bunch of workers come in. I guess a bunch of the men at the mills have been talking about my place because I'm maybe 5 to 7 minutes from the mill. In my cash box for today, I had $25. The rest is between Venmo, PayPal, and Cash App, so I averaged about $75 today. This weekend, we are going to have a lot of stuff. A lot of festive stuff, a few new products. I also have this sign up to where when people come in during the weekdays, they know to come on the weekends to see our full menu so they can get a chance to get in bulk items too. So if you are in the Sweetwater, Alabama area this weekend, make sure you come by. We're going to be open Saturday and Sunday from 9 a.m. to dark. And my hours for the weekdays are from 6 a.m. to dark as well. So come see us.
Hey, you know what? Alabama's right next door. I might have to make a day trip. I might have to make a day trip. Alabama's right there. Right next door. Hey, I'll be there in 2 hours. Don't worry about it. I've driven further for less. I have driven further for less. When I go to Virginia, my first order of business, hey, mama, okay, cool, but let's go to the Filipino food store immediately, right away. I done got on a plane for some food. So, yeah, I'll drive 3 hours. It's nothing. It's no problem at all. Most mundane says ABL is the reason the baked goods and confections are in the front of the grocery store. Yes. Hey, man, going to Walmart and they got them cookies in the front. I got to go like a different way. I got to go cut around the corner. I can't go right past the little area. Them little pies they got, them 50-cent pies that Walmart got. Oh, man, listen. Because it's like, it's so small. You could just like, it's not a whole big thing. It's not intimidating. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going straight to, in the F-150. That's right, Otto. Hey, I'm going to Sweetwater with the F-150, and I'm going to load the whole bed up with everything that you got in there, for sure. that is what I'm going to do. But shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Okay, one thing I got a few random ones here that I didn't show before. This is a doctor who says all she's seen over the past 4 years is that not taking health insurance means that the costs are lower. Matter of fact, I'm going to let her tell it. She can tell it better than I can. So she's responding to a comment that says, so how much for an advanced test like an MRI, CT scan, cardiac stress testing, etc.? Because it shows hospital ER visits aren't discounted. Let's watch.
Great question. One thing I've learned not taking health insurance for the last 4 years as a doctor is that the only thing you're guaranteed having commercial insurance is that you're going to be charged more for things. So what do patients do who don't have insurance, who need these things above? They just pay cash and they get it for cheaper. And their doctor does not have to jump through hoops to try to get it approved, only to have them be charged more than what it costs. For example, if a patient needs an MRI of their spine, normally insurance companies require them to do physical therapy, try medications, and the doctor has to do what is called a prior authorization, pre-certification, or a peer-to-peer. To basically do all these things to get the insurance company to say, okay, we'll let you have this test, but we're going to charge you $1,000 instead of the $280 that it costs cash. So all these things above are actually pretty affordable if you just pay cash for them. And that's why I think that a lot of people are opening their eyes to health insurance being quite a scam, as a matter of fact, and they're opting to just go cash pay and get the discount.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I do. Like, I have a plan that's for quote unquote catastrophic, that's not that much. And if I need anything else, I just pay in cash. If I need to get an eye exam, I just go to the place and pay cash. I don't need health insurance to get an eye exam. You go to Walmart or any kind of like eye doctor place, $75 for an eye exam. And then once I get my eye exam and I got my prescription, I'm good money. I could just take my prescription and go anywhere. I don't have to get my glasses from the actual doctor I go to. All I need is my script. And really, once I got my script, I'm good. They got a little game set up with a lot of American, eyeglass places. You got to have a current, you got to have a prescription from the past year, at least 1 year old. But what I do, I go to other places where they're not going to ask you, when was your last eye exam? How old is your prescription? I go my prescription. I know what it is by heart. I put it into the thing, get my glasses, and then I'm good. Okay, and I just pay, and it's so much cheaper. I don't have to go through insurance to get these things. When I had my eye surgery, I paid cash $600 to get that laser removed. I ain't had no insurance. I paid out of my pocket. This was way back in the day, though. But I paid with my own money I had in my pocket. That made more sense, especially since at the time I was pretty young and healthy. It was only my eye that was a problem. Now, as you get to be 1,000 years old, it's a little bit different. But what do y'all think? Do y'all think that insurance is worth it, really? Like all these plans, you think it's worth it? Or should you get a plan to cover, like if you got some kind of, you got a appendix or something crazy like that, but just regular things that you would get, blood work, eye exam, little ticky-tack things, I think that should be a cash option, and you really shouldn't even be worried about insurance for that. And matter of fact, to go see your primary care physician, I have a subscription with the actual doctor. So it's a small practice, and I pay them, it's like $75 a month. And for that money, I could just go in whenever, okay, I need lab work, I want to get a checkup, whatever, I could just go in there and get it. Okay, I could just, I call them, schedule my appointment, go in there, and I get seen. I don't got to worry about Blue Cross Blue Shield. I don't got to worry about nothing. I just go in there, I'm already paid, go sit down, get my stuff done, and be on my way. Very simple. That should be the way that I think we go forward in this country, because all the all the things they want to try to do, all this crazy expensive health insurance, doesn't make any sense. It does not make any sense. Now, this video is about how our food system is healthy, but people don't really want to buy the food that is healthy. They want to buy the unhealthy food.
European.
Okay, let's watch some of this. Somebody say 80 a month for that. Yep, there we go. That's right. You got it, River Spirit. 80 a month. Yep. Keep my expenses low. Make good financial decisions, and you have a better chance of being comfy in a society. But again, here's about the food system. Okay, over in Europe, how's their food compared to us in the U.S.?
European food is not actually healthier than the US. The truth is we have both the best and the worst food in the world. Contrary to popular perception, the US actually ranks remarkably high in food quality and safety metrics. We have exceptional access to premium food quality options, but there's also a stark paradox. Despite this quality infrastructure, ultra-processed foods compose an estimated 58 to 73% of the US food supply, and the cheap, accessible, fun foods are what's winning out right now because that 27% is hidden. They have overrun our food system and become the new normal that doesn't exist elsewhere. America's problem isn't fundamentally about access to quality food, it's culture and economic. Differences are also partially regulatory, as Europe employs the precautionary principle requiring manufacturers to prove safety before approval, while the US uses a proof of harm model allowing ingredients unless subsequently proven dangerous. This is contributing to some egregious choices in our food supply, but we also have incredible access to some super high quality local farms. European food is not.
Exactly. It's more choices. Now, some say that there's too many choices, but then we get into kind of a dangerous territory, right? Where you say, oh, there's too many choices. Let's just eliminate one of the choices. Let's just have one choice, state choice. Let's not do that. I think there should be regulations on what is allowed to be called food, because you don't want things that are just totally harmful. And if there aren't many regulations on what we call food, then there should at least be regulations what you can buy if you have government benefits. Okay, you got food stamps or whatever, you shouldn't be able to buy all the bad food, all the highly processed sugar, all of that. You shouldn't really be able to buy that with your food stamps. So if you got your own money and you want to have a Dorito bath in your house, then knock yourself out. It's not very healthy for you, but knock yourself out. And also, that's a good way to cut down on expenses for your health care. Okay, try having a decent diet. I'm not saying you got to be like me and my diet, which is like really, really strict, like a monk. You don't got to do all that, but you want to have a good way to take care of yourself, because if you don't, then you're going to really incur a lot of costs when it comes to the healthcare system. That's kind of what's going on. Yeah, we are a fat nation, but a lot of that comes with the territory. We have a lot of freedom, a lot of choice, a lot of options, a lot of money. And even our poor people have a lot of money. Even our poor people are rich in many ways. They have access to food that you would not have access to if you were a poor person in other parts of the country. Again, back to Venezuela, going full circle. Like I was saying, at one point, they were breaking in the zoo to eat the zoo animals. The people here aren't going to do that because there's so much food readily available for free, basically. Well, taxpayer got to pay for it, but they don't have to pay for it. They get so much food all the time. They're never going to be small or starving. They're going to be big backs a lot of the time. It's kind of how that goes. All right. Let me see. But also with European food, as I'm right here right now, also with European food, the quality in general is different. But we have a lot of high quality stuff here. But the options they have generally are higher quality for the most part. They have fewer bad quality options. All right. Guys finally says, I pick out 1 meal a day, always meat and fat. Hey, man, 1 meal a day, that's the way to be. You know, one ingredient, not a lot of processed food. That's the way to be, for sure. Squirm says, I choose to eat light tacos, not tortas. Female Casey Royal fan says, I shredded my own blocks of cheese for it. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Steven Sykes says, I made a homemade meal last night. Shout out to you. That's what I'm talking about. Love the homemade meals, the home cooked meals. I love it. That's what I like. Oh, I got one more video, and then I'm going to get to the calls and super chats.
Real.
This is going to be an Aldi budget haul, all organic. Well, it's going to be an Aldi budget haul of all good food, quality food for under $100. Okay. Now let's see what he gets here. Is it going to be organic? I don't know. It may or may not be, but let's watch.
Real food budget grocery haul at Aldi's for under $100. Let's go. We're leaving the $2 eggs alone. You can get pasture raised for under $5. Dirt cheap, organic white jasmine rice, under $5. Next up, we got Nature's electrolyte drink, organic coconut water, $7.50. You guys know the drill. We're going with organic avocados for under $4. If you're really pinching pennies, they have non-organic avocados for under $3. They're in the clean 15, so they're not sprayed with a lot of pesticides. Still a good option. Next up, organic coconut oil, under $5, extremely versatile. They have a decent selection of frozen fruit. We're going with organic blueberries for $6. Next up, they even have wild caught pink salmon. We're going with the 2-pound family pack, $10.
Now let's pause. I would not get wild caught salmon in the bag like that, because what you're going to find out is if you look in the bag and see where it comes from, China or somewhere, anytime they got fish in the bag, I get my fish straight from fresh produce. And if it's in some kind of container already, I want it to be transparent so I can see it. If there's any kind of creepy crawlies in there, I want to see that before I get it. So avoid salmon in the bag. But even if you get it in a container already or fresh, it still is not going to break the bank. It'll still be a good thing to get.
Pound family pack, $10. You guys know it was coming 100% organic grass-fed ground beef, $6.50 a pound. They have a solid selection of organic fruit. We have organic raspberries here, organic bananas, and then the golden kiwis aren't organic, but you could either not eat the skin or you could just soak them in baking soda. We're going with grass-fed butter for $4. Sweet potatoes loaded with beta carotene, 65 cents a pound. And lastly, I know a lot of you could be in a rush, so we're going with some Chomps beef sticks, grass-fed, grass-finished for $7. Now, is this the highest quality food you can buy? No, but this is a ton of food for under $100, and it shows us there is zero excuse not to eat healthy.
There we go. Let's see the cart right quick. Let's see the cart. Hold on.
100.
All right, and there we go. That's a pretty good cart for under $100. Yeah, that's pretty good. So for you guys who are looking at this cart, how long would this last you? I'm seeing we got 3 containers of beef, ground beef. We got coconut water. We got 2 bags of strawberries, a bag of pink salmon, 2 cartons of eggs, avocado, banana, coconut oil, I believe, blueberries, sweet potatoes. How long would this cart last you? And again, under $100. How much was that fast food at the place? $15? I think this is a much better value than going to spend $15 so you get to $100 at a fast food place. What do y'all think? A week and a half? 3 days? 3 days? Man, what you like, 300 pounds? Well, you might got kids or something like that, so I'm not, I don't want to judge. 1 week, fresh produce spoils. Well, I mean, it ain't gonna spoil that quick. If you got, like, I could keep salmon in the fridge for about 3 days without it going bad. Maybe even 4 days if I'm pushing it. It ain't gonna go bad that quick. For just one person, maybe a week. Vegetables aren't filling. If you're eating enough, because if you're consuming enough calories, you're going to be fine. It shouldn't even really be about what the actual food is. 8 to 10 days, 2 days max. Should about more protein. I love when I can. Okay. But yeah, for me, I would say for that, that's definitely a week, easy a week for sure. But I'm not really, probably longer than that. Probably maybe like 10 days. Yeah, 10 days. Definitely. I can most certainly stretch that, especially with the beef. You could do a lot with the beef. That's pretty versatile. You could do spaghetti. You could do meatloaf. You could do a lot of different things that have soup, pasta, everything. You could put the ground beef in. But anyway, somebody said the toilet emoji. You guys are funny. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all the good stuff. I'm helping tremendously. Okay, we got super chats on deck. Then I'm going to get to the calls. The number to call is 706-406-3287. Again, 706-406-3287. Thank you to Patrick McAdams for your super chat with the cup of Joe. Thank you to Jeff with the running emoji. Thank you to Angus for the super chat. Says 1776. I appreciate that. Thank you to Apple, who says, ABL, your compilation videos of Venezuelan people's reactions were awe-inspiring, joyful, and hopeful. You're so funny too, Uncle Bum, and Sir Drinks a Lot. Yeah, man, I was just talking about him just freestyling. I'm looking at him like, okay, this guy's a bum, and he probably been drinking too. Probably drunk right now. So I'm like, okay, Uncle Bum, and then Sir Drinks a Lot. I don't know where that came from. That was just straight freestyle, top of the head. All right. But shout out to you, bro. I appreciate you for recognizing that. Thank you to Apple again, who says, I have posted links to your compilation videos of Venezuelan people's joy on YouTube channels of Democrat commenters who complained about Trump, what Trump did. Apple again says, shout out to U.S. military for their expertise, professionalism, seriousness, and competency. Contrast this to what happened in Afghanistan withdrawal, a complete mess. Afghanistan withdrawal was a complete mess, a dumpster fire of epic proportions. Thank you to I Love My Man, who says, thank you for your insightful info. Love from fam. Shout out to you. I appreciate you. Thank you to Apple again. It says, leadership matters. Obama Biden gave us extortion, 17 fallen angel, Benghazi, and Abbey Gate. Woke libs should not have any military power at all. Right on. Thank you to Dan Vicious, who says, ABO, did you see the houses and the videos with the giant T-Rex and shark? I don't know about that at all. Thank you to Lothar, who says that American taxpayers should not be paying for Venezuelans' problems. Sorry, not sorry. I'm big on the point of taxes. I just don't want another round of Iraq. Thank you to Emmanuel, who says, do you think this will turn into another BLM sort of protest? Poor girl. Too many are confused, but please always comply with law enforcement. I mean, they want to make it be George Floyd 2.0 or, BLM type situation. They want it to be that, but I hope not. But it is Minneapolis. So if it becomes George Floyd again, I would not be surprised. And that's speaking about the shooting that happened with the ICE agent and the lady trying to run him over with her car. They get Twisted Clown, who says, ABL, he ate Luigi. Shout out to you. Thank you to Outlander. Maybe I'm getting that right. Outlander, who says, imagine having the luxury of being a U.S. citizen and dying for criminals. Exactly. That's crazy. Thank you to Marcio, who says, Cold War 2.0, all to contain China. The first domino has fallen. Thank you to Emmanuel, who says, ABL prediction for the midterms. Who wins the House and Senate? Also, Bob Rubio over Vance. Rubio all the way. He's been very impressive in this administration. Well, I feel the same way you feel about Rubio, so that's that on that. I think he's just doing a good job. He has quite a few tasks, and he's done all of them very well. JD Vance, not so much. I'm not anti-JD. I don't dislike JD, but I like Rubio more. And as far as the midterms, I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell. I think we could do well in the midterms. I don't really see a big disruption happening with the Republicans, but you never know. You never know. I mean, RIP to that dude that died who was in office in the House, and then Marjorie quit. So you never know what's going to happen. You can't tell. It's going to be interesting to watch. I put it to you that way. Thank you to Daniel, who says Greenland could accommodate another 50 states. How about a USA with 100 states? That would be something. Greenland's not that big, actually. That's the funny part. And most of Greenland is a glacier, but that's a different story. Thank you to Twisted Clown, who says ABL should make a big back meal pyramid. Thank you to 28 Knuckles, who says, man, Melanie King is so fine. Shout out to her. Real random, but that's fine. Thank you to Twisted Clown, who says corporations would have ABL selling big back meals on wheels, and we cannot have that. Thank you to Lothar, who says, you're not wrong on the health, man. Thank you for that. All righty, let's keep on rocking and rolling here. Let's get to the calls. The number to call is 706-406-3287. Again, 706-406-3287. The phone lines are open. Yeah, but definitely go vote Republican in these midterms. Don't let them take it. We got to keep it. Do not let them take it. 860 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Anthony. It's Anthony Ranger Xbox. How you doing, brother? I'm
doing well, man. How about yourself?
Oh, pretty good. I just want to say on that cooking thing, my kids are freaks of nature. They will not touch Captain Crunch with Crunch Berries. I buy a box, it'll sit there for 6 months. They'll eat everything I cook. They don't like any of the garbage. I mean, a lot of times they'll tell their friends, I got to eat at home. But I took culinary classes in Italy, you know, when I was in the Army there for 3 years, because after duty you get bored. So, yeah. And all the teachers, their teachers love my you like cookies. Oh, my God. If I ever know I'm going to run into you, I'll bring some chocolate chip cookies for you or whatever you want.
There we go. I'm with it.
But I've been back. Okay. Because walnuts are very healthy for your heart. Now, olive oil is also very healthy, but the problem is you gotta get olive oil, and a lot of the stuff out there is garbage. I wouldn't use it to lubricate the chain on my Husqvarna 455 Rancher, but for real olive oil, it has to be in a dark glass bottle, and there'll be 2 dates: the harvest date and the press date, and then there'll be a rating, and it'll tell you where it's from. So be careful. You got to read the labels. Cellulose fiber. 50% of a McDonald's burger is cellulose fiber. In English, that's called wood pulp. I ain't no beaver. Your ice creams. You also have to look. Guess what? It's cellulose fiber. And I used to love Oreos till I found out that the filling isn't cream, it's grease.
Terrible.
It's made from canola oil. Now, do you know what they call canola oil? You know what it actually is?
What's that?
Rapeseed oil.
Wow.
And they used to use it for engine oil during World War II. I fry in bacon grease. I eat an egg with bacon every day. Sometimes I'll make a cheese omelet. But what I'll do is I'll make a 2-egg omelet because I'm 65. And like yesterday I made sausage, broke it up, fried it. Used half of it for an omelet, put the other half in the refrigerator. Then made my omelet and then put some habanero down and folded it over with cheese on it. But I cut it in half. I ate half of it for breakfast, half of it for lunch. That's how I lost 45 pounds of extra weight that I didn't need to carry around. But I'm on no medication. Like I said, I quit drinking in 1988. But all that aside, sir, I got a question for you.
Okay.
In 1983, I almost started World War III with the Soviet Union. Okay, now hold that thought. In 2017, I stepped foot into the Aircraft Corporation factory in Irkutsk, Siberia, where they build the Su-30 fighter. And I'm kind of like writing a book of how that whole experience was. There's sometimes I cry like a baby, and other times I just cannot stop laughing. I don't even watch comedies anymore. I just sit there and think of like my security interrogation. I had the time of my life because what I did in the headquarters was psychological warfare against the Soviet Union. So when COVID came out, that's how I was able to tell they were all full of doo-doo, about what they were saying. We're going to mandate the shop for you, but we're going to exempt ourselves, and we're going to exempt the manufacturer, and we're going to exempt our families, but you're mandated to get it. And everybody's going to get. I'm like, what are you people doing? Anyhow, what do you think about my book idea, boss?
I missed the idea of your book.
You missed it? Oh, yeah. Well, a guy that in the Army almost causes the Soviet Union to launch nuclear missiles shows up in the highest classified factory where they build the Su-30 fighter to work on their new commercial airliner.
Hey, I say go ahead and run with it.
That's the idea for
go ahead and run with it.
All right, because it's one of those David and Goliath stories. And most of it's on video with audio. I would love to get my hand on those tapes. I'd love it. Brother, love the show. Keep doing what you're doing. God bless America. And that woman, she was a criminal. She's a traitor to the country. That man's an illegal alien who committed murder. That's why they were after him. She placed herself in a law enforcement situation, and then she failed to follow orders and tried to run over a police officer with a vehicle. That's all I got for you, brother. God bless America. God bless y'all. God bless Donald Trump. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate you. All right, there we go. Shout out to my man for the call as always. Most certainly appreciate him. And shout out to you guys as well. The number to call, again, 706-406-3287. If you're trying to call earlier and it didn't go through, call in now because the lines are open and they were not open before I opened them, but they are open right now. So shout out to you guys again for rocking and rolling with me. All right, so you guys are lost. It's all good. Let's go to, what's speaker to? 619, you're on the line. What's speaker to?
Hey, ABL, it's Kathleen in San Diego. It's been a little while. It's good to hear everyone.
Right on.
Oh, sorry, I just had to mute my TV. I was watching it. So I want to give a shout out to all the nervous people because the chat can be brutal. So I always get nervous when I call. But I want to touch on Latin America. You know, they really want to, the people are so excited to rid the region of communism. And I was married to a Chilean guy for a long time, and he would tell me, like, America is turning into Latin America. I can see it. We used to look up to, you know, the United States as a beacon, and now it's just totally deteriorating. And his family was total Pinochetistas, and I learned a lot because I grew up in a super lefty household, and you read in the New York Times about Pinochet, this evil dictator, you know, and then you go there and you hear from the people, and they loved him, a lot of them. They believed that he saved the country from communism. And if anyone is interested in hearing about this, there's a guy named Axel Kaiser. He's a Chilean guy with a European name. But he has a lot of, he's an economist, I think, and he has a lot of information and talks on politics in Chile, and it's super interesting. It gives you a whole new perspective on what happened there. So I also would just talk about nutrition lastly for a minute, because I've been in that field for decades, and you've got to eat at home. I mean, it's so important, and people just don't know how to eat or what to do. And you know, I believe in real food, so foods that contain saturated fat, using salt, all that stuff, but it's got to be real food and quality. So what we do at home, which really works and I think is cool, is get like a CSA subscription for your produce, local organic farmer, a box a week. It's like $30. It's all variety, local, super cool. You support local farmers. I'm sure you have that in Tennessee. And then here also we have like, you can get a meat CSA. It's a little bit more expensive, but it's super high quality stuff. A lot of it is local ranched or like sourced kind of in the area. And then, of course, we fill in with like Costco stuff. So lots of organic stuff and fruit and vegetables. So my last comment, well, I have two last comments actually. I saw someone in the chat said chicken broth is cheaper. And I'm like, dude, let's take it to another level. You know, it's even cheaper is buying yourself a good whole organic chicken, roasting it, eating all the meat, taking the bones, and then making your stock and freezing it. Like, that's what I'm talking about. That's what we all got to be doing. And I've been in this field for a long time, and I've come to this conclusion is my advice to people at this point is if the experts say don't do it, then do it. And if the experts say do it, then don't do it.
There you go. Good advice to me.
Yeah. All right. So shout out to everyone. It's great to see you all again, and have a great night.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Bye.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Great call. 859 on the line. How much speaker to?
Hey, ABL, it's your Luciferian Libertarian friend here. A combination of an anti-Le Pen and Hami on my late. What's up? What's up? Hey, I left this line again about the whole ICE thing. Losing the credibility right off the bat. Like, I'm not joking with you. When I saw that clip at first, I was pissed off. It's like, literally, I thought it's like, oh, we got some new hired people. They newly hired, screwed it up again. Because when you bring in a bunch of people in who we don't know, and any law enforcement, I had a weird feeling that was going to happen. But, lo and behold, the media lies again. Crazy as it is, you know?
Of course.
Exactly. It's weird because listen, we disagree on certain things and we agree on certain things. I'm a libertarian. You're more conservative on your opinions. I try to have the same dialogue about the Venezuela thing. I couldn't get past the pronouns. I refuse to stoop to their knee or bend to the knee to their weird cultish kind of pronoun stuff. I just don't get it. It's weird. Am I wrong or am I right? Like when you first meet somebody, you're like, hey, my name is such and such. Like, I don't need to know everything about you in your identity. I don't get it, you know?
Yeah, the whole pronouns thing, all of that is just weird. Let's just talk like regular people.
Yeah, it's annoying, and I try to have a conversation with them, but no, they get easily offended. It's like, and then like, really? And like, I try to, like, there's no open conversation with the actual left. Like, it's hard to find a leftist who actually has like Che Guevara viewpoints who doesn't sound like that, or doesn't sound like a wimp, who sound like, oh, I'm overly offended. It's hard to find a conversation like that. They're rare to find, and I try to find like their perspective on things without a extremist yelling, throwing hissy fit argument, and it's hard to find it. It's really hard to find it. And the sad part is, they're the same kind of people who would shoot themselves in the foot. Even something like Mandani, I would kind of agree with on him on certain aspects. Not everything's black and white with him, but I was happy when Mandani and Trump stick together, because I don't give a care what their economics is. They may have their disagreements, but I'm worried about my bills at the end of the day. Trump will help with the corporations and taxes and the economy. And, you know, Mandani would probably help out with the working class with the rent control. I'm not necessarily agree with him on everything under control, but you get my point. I think there's no discussion. There's blind ignorance from the left. You can have the best arguments, but you've got children who say, hey, what's took over a guy's car, fight against racism. What did that car do to you? It's silly. It's nonsense. And, like, I don't know. It's beyond me. So, and with all this stuff going on with the whole Epstein list and stuff like that, and I want to ask you a question. I want to ask everybody on the chat a question. And, you know, some of you guys probably think I'm on some drugs, but really I'm just very ADHD attack. And I respect you, ABL. I really do. My question is, what's more important, your principles or this guy here? And don't get it wrong. Don't get me twisted. There's some stuff about Trump that maybe or maybe not true, and I don't believe in everything what they say.
That's a broad question.
My question is, good question, because to be perfectly honest with you, at the end of the day, there's going to be a next candidate who have the same values and morals who will push the postmodern and stuff. Let's say the nihilist viewpoint, I would say.
So yeah, that's a broad question though. It's like morals versus Trump. I mean, I don't really understand. That's kind of, you gotta narrow your focus to your question.
Like, what's more important? The pride of your morals, the border, or being behind Trump regardless of what he says? Because there's some things you may disagree with on Trump on. And I'm kind of black and white with Trump, because there's some things I do agree with him on, and there's some things I do like about him.
Well, I'm gonna just stop you right there, because regardless of what Trump says or does, I'm gonna agree if I agree and disagree if I disagree, and that's going to be that. There's never a time where I would just blindly follow behind anybody and agree with anything that they say. So that's not even the thing that I even think about, where it's like, okay, I got to pick between my morals and this person. Nah, I'm gonna always be who I am. If we agree on certain things, then we agree. If we don't, then we don't, and that's it.
Hey, I respect you, man, because you know what? Not very much people would take these phone calls. They would throw a hissy fit and yell at me. Even conservative guys. I've argued with Alex Jones before.
Oh yeah, nah, I'm a lot more chill. I'm not a spaz, you know, so it's all good.
I'm not even joking with you. I had this other guy who was a MAGA guy. Don't get me wrong, I like some of his viewpoints, but he was going off saying that, like, you know, some crazy conspiracy theories that they were eating babies and labs, and I'm like, that's not exactly true. I mean, stem cell research is a whole other subject, and not only that, they don't even it's a whole debate, long story. But it was some crazy stuff, but I was like, okay, man, you're cool, man. But he was, like, screaming real bad. But it's on both sides. You are civil, you have good arguments, you have good principles, you stand on your stuff, and that's what I like about your channel, man. Much love to you, and you're right about the health stuff, man. I took your advice. Much love to you, bro.
Thanks for the call, man. Appreciate you.
You too, man. Wait.
All right, yeah, shout out to my man for the call. But yeah, I don't care about people sometimes think, and not him, but some people think, oh, you voted for Trump and you just support whatever he does. Nah, like if he does something I like, then I'm going to say I like it. If it's something that he does that I don't like, I'm going to say I don't like it. And that's just what it is. I'm gonna be like that with anybody. It don't matter who it is. What's talking to you on line 310?
Hey, how you doing? Appreciate your show today. I like what you're bringing and how you're informing us. How are you doing today?
Everything's good, man. How about yourself?
Well, I wanted to follow up with you. I wasn't sure if you got a chance to look at it or not. I sent you an email, and it's about another ICE shooting. And this was on New Year's in Northridge, California. I believe that's still probably LA County. There was a 43-year-old black man that was apparently shooting a rifle during New Year's like a moron, and an off-duty ICE agent that lived in the apartment complex came out to investigate, and this guy pointed his rifle at the ICE agent, in which the ICE agent told him multiple times to put it down, and he wouldn't. He ended up having to shoot him. The guy shot at him 3 times too, and they literally have people in LA or California that are calling this a murder, and family members and friends and neighbors acting outraged, or and it's kind of unbelievable to think that they think that he's allowed to do gunfire to celebrate the new year and have a rifle out illegally and point it at an off-duty agent. Have you heard about that?
I've not heard about that story, no.
Okay, yeah, the guy that the deceased, his name is something Porter. Let me see here. I just pulled the article back up here. His name is Keith Porter, 43-year-old, and it's I think one of the funniest, I don't want to say funny, but ironic parts in the article. It says loved ones say Porter was firing gunshots out as part of a New Year's Eve celebration. And I mean, we all know, unfortunately, people do that, but that's something that you take the risk on facing consequences when you want to do something, in a well-populated area. Something I guess you can do if you way out in the sticks and no one's around. But if you're in the city, and you pull a gun out and start shooting it for celebration, I think you're taking the consequences on getting unalive.
Oh, for sure. I mean, like, I don't know what people expect to happen in that situation. You out there shooting the gun, you point the gun at me, and I'm out here investigating. Okay, like, I'm not trying to get shot. I don't want you to be a danger to anyone else. Nah, I'm going to go ahead and just put you on down.
Yeah, and they say Porter's family and attorneys are looking for answers. I'm like, are you for real? I mean, they say that the ICE officer wasn't trained for this situation, and he should have stayed in his apartment and waited for trained law enforcement from LAPD to respond. I'm like, he is a peace officer, and whether you're a federal, state, or city or county, they all have a sworn duty to protect the public. And if he heard something that sounds like it was a danger to the public, he had every right to investigate.
Of course, absolutely.
So that's all I wanted to tell you, that there was another shooting prior to this one, today, which I think was justified shooting as well, using a vehicle to accelerate toward another human being is non-negotiable.
Right, exactly.
Well, thank you so much for your time, and I keep listening and spreading the word sharing your show with everyone I know. Okay.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Take care, brother.
All right, shout out to the caller. Yeah, people just do things, and it's like, what do you think gonna happen? Like, you pointing a gun at a cop or a peace officer or anybody like that, or anybody really. You point a gun at somebody, you brandish a weapon. At that point, I mean, you taking the big risk. Maybe they just, oh, hey, I don't want to get shot, or maybe they shoot you. I mean, that's just what that is, man. People, I don't know, man. This whole police shooting thing, I don't see why that's still like controversial to say that somebody gets shot by a cop. Okay. When we see a video of a person holding a gun like this, we see the gun. There was one video where a dude got shot by a cop, or he might have got hit by a car. I don't know. I think the video I'm talking about, the cop got hit by a car because, no, I'm tripping. The cop hit the suspect with the car. And people say, oh, why'd the cop hit the guy with the car? He ran him over. But in the video, when you watch it, the guy's gun popped out of his hand right when he got hit, and it freeze frame perfect. It was like a it was like a background like this, where it's like nothing. It was like full contrast. It was like, if you see that right there, it's like you could see it very clearly. It's a black and white. It's full contrast. The gun's right in the frame. Robert D got hit. It went like this. It just popped up like bing. Come on. Like, don't put your gun out and try to shoot cops. Don't have your vehicle and try to push forward, mash the gas down to the floor. Nah, don't do that. Follow the law, be lawful, don't be violent, and you're not going to have many issues. You're not going to have many problems. But when you decide to just kind of do whatever, it's going to be an issue. It's going to be a problem. You saw that video? Yes, you know what I'm talking about. It went bing, popped right up in the video. It was perfect. All right, let's go. Get online. Who wants to get to 617?
Hey, ABL, it's Jenna in West Virginia.
All right, what's going on?
I will keep this super quick for you, but I heard you mentioning your glasses prescription, and I was actually just doing mine today, and I was like, well, maybe if it will help anybody in the chat, I'll call in, because I don't know if you're aware, but if you've had your prescription and you know what it is, you know that it doesn't change, you can actually renew it for free online. And it's kind of ghetto because you basically will have to just do it either on your computer and use your iPhone as the remote or whatever, but you do it from your phone and they send you the prescription in like 24 hours. And I've been doing that for like 5 years because my prescription never changes. So just in case it helps anybody, I figured I would throw that out there.
Okay, so hold on. So what's the website we go to? How can we do this?
Opti Contacts.
One more time for me.
It's Opti Contacts, so OPTI contacts.com, but they do glasses and contacts.
Okay. Well, that's a good tool to have because I was trying to get my meta lenses fitted here locally and they had my prescription. They were like, nah, we got to have it up to date. It's like, man, y'all tripping. I obviously did get them done online, but I wanted to get them done right there, but they wanted the new prescription. So in the future, if I want to get something done locally, I'll do that option.
Yeah, and you don't even have to buy contact. Well, I know you wear glasses, but you don't even have to buy your glasses from them because I'll just go to a different provider if I find other glasses that I like. You just get the prescription that they attach to the email, and it works. I've been doing it for 5 years, and it's free. And then the other thing, too, that I'm really interested to see how it continues to affect healthcare going forward, because I have health insurance. I don't even use it. Because there's all these apps and things like that that you can use so easily online. So I use this app called Call on Doc, which is the other thing. I was like, well, maybe it will help the chat. Where it's $35, but sometimes they'll send you like coupons or promo codes or whatever. And if you know that, like, okay, I have the flu, or I have an ear infection, or my kid has an ear infection, you just go and you type in your symptoms. You pay the $35. They send the prescription to the pharmacy. And it's so much cheaper and it saves so much more time than dragging yourself or your sick kid to like an urgent care and paying out of pocket. So figured I would just mention that, but I'm interested to see how that starts to affect healthcare moving forward.
Well, it'd be interesting to see how it all plans out.
All right. Well, I hope that helps somebody. Hope you have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate you.
Bye.
All right. Great call. Let's go to 504 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, it's Alien Spaceship.
What's going on, Alien Spaceship? What's happening?
Hey, shout out to you in chat. So I wanted to say you did a good video a couple of days ago, and about how in Venezuela, the people that actually are from there are saying that they liked what happened because their country was a dictatorship, and that it's good that it will be going in a different direction, just like I was saying before. Because all these people that are saying that they're against what happened don't even like live there or know about the culture.
Exactly. That's the main thing. I mean, we got people that we got to get those who are actually there. Whenever anything happens like this anywhere in the world, I want to hear from the people of that place. What do you think? What's your opinion? How do we go about this? What else should we have done? And from what I'm seeing, it's been all positive. So that's a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know from studying about history and different regimes is that it was not a good situation, and like there was a protest about what Trump did, and then nobody from Venezuela shows up to it though.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I mean, things like that should be pretty obvious to look at and see what's going on, but not everybody is able to receive their information.
Yeah, and I think people have their own personal motivations where they may have good intentions, but it's like, say they have, they think it's imperialism or these different things that may have happened through history, but it's just, you're comparing apples to oranges here, and he went in there quickly. I feel my opinion, it'll benefit the country as an ally. And the other countries, like the people in the video you showed, mentioned that like all those other countries that were not really on good terms with were taking the oil themselves.
Exactly. Yeah, it wasn't like if we just didn't do anything, then Venezuela would be totally left alone. They would not be left alone. They would still be under the thumb of China, Russia, Iran. And then some would say that they're being held up under their thumb to weaken not only Venezuela, but also the USA, because with Venezuela as a partner, we can succeed more than what we're doing right now. It's something that'll help both of us, but having both of us at a lower level would bode well for our enemies because they can be the power that we are rather than us being the power.
Very well said. It reminds me of Cuba when it became a communist country and the USSR was, putting weapons and influencing it. And I think that it could possibly be a way that the Axis is trying to influence our hemisphere and our region. So I do think if we can have an alliance of people in our region is good because the enemy is going to try to divide and conquer.
100% correct. Absolutely.
Yeah. And for instance, Vietnam, which we had a war with in the past, they are more an our ally against China because they're also suspicious of what they're doing over there in that part of the world. So that is good that even in those other countries, like, like South Korea, we have Japan, that would be on our side or like our influence over what China's doing over there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And by the way, the side projects I've been doing with the trial stuff, and specifically the OJ trial, I talked to you about a couple of streams ago. So one of my friends in Australia and I were we were watching it, and Judge Ito, he had all these hourglasses on his bench, and people from the audience were sending it to him, and that's something we don't see in trials now. I think they may have banned that type of behavior, but at that time, that was something interesting that we didn't see before.
I never noticed that there were hourglasses on the bench.
Yeah.
I never seen that before. That's a very interesting in detail that you guys were able to identify. I never saw that before.
Yeah, because what happened was he had a thing for those hourglasses, and people were sending flowers and stuff that were viewing it at home. And then he put like a little hourglass on top of a bigger hourglass, and then he had a remote controls. He basically was like a Twitch streamer setup.
Hilarious.
Yeah. And then we'll see like the defense, they seem like they'll ask questions to kind of circle around. Like they'll say, do you remember what time it was? And the person will say no on the stand. Though they say, is it this time right here? And they say maybe. And then they actually tell them what the time is. And like people that are watching it, they seem like the whole thing seems like they circle around and kind of like ask the same thing in a different way.
Okay. Yeah. That's kind of how they do.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, and then like sometimes like the prosecution will get into like an argument and then with the judge, and then like Darden had to apologize about getting upset, and like it's basically, and they all start fighting each other. Yeah. And also that is the project I've been working on, and that's all I have to say for this call. Thank you for taking my call.
Thanks for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Okay, bye.
All right, shout out to Alien Spaceship. That was a great call. I had no idea about the hourglasses from Judge Lancito. That's funny. But back then, I probably wasn't even looking at it like that. Back then, it was just a whole different time. 1994. This is 1994. There's no internet, as far as I can recall. This might have been right around the time when AOL started to happen. And if there was internet, there was nothing like the way it is right now. The internet back then for us was not this. All of this was a dream. Being able to live, like that was not even the term that anybody knew what it meant in 1994. Live streaming, what's that? If you were to say something about being a streamer in 1994, nobody would know what that is. Like, what you mean? You were a streaker? You take your clothes off? Like, what are you doing? Streaming? What's that? There was not really a thing called streaming. Back in the Blockbuster Video, Hollywood video days, you go to the store to rent a DVD or to rent a VHS tape. Remember that? The good old days where we had fewer options. And then when this came along in the 2000s, like, when did the smartphone come out? Like 08, 09, something like that? This is like 25 years, 20-something years after the internet came out. Well, not that long, maybe like 15 years, but a long time after the internet came out. Big changes. So say I had to say this. When the OJ trial was happening, we are looking at it just from what they're saying and kind of what so many people look like in their face. But I did not even see all the extra accoutrements in the courtroom. I'm 10 years old. This is my first time watching something like this on TV. I don't know what to look for at the time, but now we got the technology to be able to pause and rewind without having to record on the VHS. We could just go on our phone and just seek through frame by frame. It's crazy. It's crazy to be able to watch something like that right now with modern technology versus what we had back then. Watching it whenever it came on TV. Maybe you're going to record it on the VHS tape, but that's it. All right. Shout out to you guys. Hold on. Was there a shooting at a church? And hold on. Let's see what happened here. Okay. So a little bit of breaking news, unfortunately. There's a shooting at an LDS church in Salt Lake City. 8 shot, 2 dead. Says at least 8 people were shot Wednesday night at a Mormon Latter-day Saints church in Salt Lake City, Utah. 2 people were confirmed dead and 3 people who were injured are in critical condition. Police said there was a fight in the parking lot during a funeral and shots were fired. Now, let's just talk about this for a minute. This is breaking news happening right now. Like, this article was published January 7th, 11 p.m., which is like 7 minutes ago. So this is not a mass shooting in a typical sense. Yes, it is defined as a mass shooting, and it can be defined as a church shooting, perhaps. But if there was a fight in the parking lot during a funeral, that is more of a personal thing. That's like a gang shooting at a funeral. I'll tell you a quick story. And RIP to those who died. Prayers out to the family. And RIP to whoever the funeral was. I mean, but this is a thing that I've not experienced this before, but I know that there can be violence at funerals. I went to a funeral one time, and there was armed guards in the funeral. Like, in the actual church, there was armed guards. I'm talking about a dude with a vest on and a rifle like this, holding it. So I've seen a lot of high security at funerals because, I mean, it could be a gang-related situation. Not in this situation, I don't think, with LDS. But in other things, it could be a gang situation. Maybe there was a beef with the family. Maybe some people didn't get along. There have been previous incidents, so there's already security in place. Because they don't care. Funeral, wedding, whatever. I'm going to go ahead and just set it off. So that could have been what happened right here. Again, if you just tuned off for a minute, there's a mass shooting in Utah at an LDS church, Latter-day Saints Mormon church. 8 shot, 2 dead, 3 of the 8 shot, critical condition. There was an argument in the parking lot during a funeral and shots were fired. That's what happened. Okay, so I don't know what this all about, who was there, why they did what they did, but this is just breaking. So there'll probably be more information tomorrow. Maybe I'll do a video on it. Maybe I won't. And I'll probably do a video on the situation in Minneapolis with the shooting to break it down in a more, precise, concise, and succinct way. All right, so shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs, but that will be a wrap for me tonight. I'll be back live again on these interwebs Saturday, same bat time, same bat place. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to right around right now, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'm on the Instagrams each and every Tuesday. Shout out to you guys who were there on Instagram last night. I'm on Instagram every Tuesday, 9 p.m. to whenever. I think I was done last night right around 11. So I get to talking and showing off my stuff in my kitchen. I was showing off my kitchenware, my wok, my skillets, my pans, my pots, everything. So if you want to have that type of stream, a little bit different, go to Instagram every Tuesday. I'm there, and I'm here putting out pre-recorded content all the time, long video, short video, whatever. So tomorrow, I'm pretty sure I got to cover the Minnesota kerfuffle and also the LDS shooting, which appears to be some personal beef between people that already knew each other. And you know what? I'm gonna say this before I close. There's a bunch of hysteria from the left about guns. Oh, it's the guns violence. Well, normally when something happens to you, when you get into a fight, when you get shot, beat up, whatever, it's someone that you know. If a woman goes missing, what do? Call the boyfriend, call the husband, call the man she was last seen with, because he probably did it. It's rarely a stranger that does something to you. It's usually somebody you know or someone that you've seen before. Maybe they're not your best friend, but you've seen them before. And a lot of times you're probably going to know them. And in this case, at the LDS church, it probably was people that already had issues, that already knew each other, some previous thing. And as a result, you got a mass shooting. So RP to those who died, prayers out to the family. All right. But that will be a wrap for me. Shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. Y'all know I'll be back on Saturday live. And shout out to you guys for watching, retweeting, super chat, and whatever you do. You know I could not do the show without you. Thank you to the mods for keeping the trolls in check. I appreciate y'all for that as well. All righty. Do I have all the super chats written? Have I read all the super chats? Let me see. I have a couple more here. Thank you to Lothair who says, I'm giving you a heads up, ABL. The reason why I say that it's on both sides in politics, bunch of Machiavellian psychopaths. And also promise me I solely saw it from Steven Crowder. All right. Shout out to you, bro. I appreciate you. Shout out to everybody for rocking with me tonight. But I'll be back live again Saturday. And until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out. And peace.